Like, the Untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing games are missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. Now, this is the live that I know many of you guys have been waiting for. We're gonna talk about the whole PBC on Amazon thing. Not just Thurman and Tszyu, but all the fights that got announced, because it's a lot of fights that got announced on that card. Rolly Amiro versus Pitbull Cruz. You got Michael Zverev versus Arizona Law for the WBA title. You got the return of the Towering Inferno, Sebastian Fundora. So it's a lot of things to discuss. It's gonna be an action-packed show. You guys know right now we're in the 90 days of boxing challenge. I'm going live every day for 90 days. Today is day number 6. All right, day number 6. So it's been a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, thank you guys.
And thank you guys for joining us. As always, got the one and only, man that really needs no introduction. You guys know what's Pops. He's here.
Welcome tonight. Take it away, BT.
All right. So before we get into all the PBC stuff and who's fighting and all that stuff, a couple of program reminders I want to give you guys, okay? First and foremost, Saturday night, we will be live for Haymon versus John Ryder. There will be a live fight reaction for that. And then after that, next Wednesday, I will be in Plant City for Angelo Leo versus Mike Plania. And then, Saturday? The next Saturday, we'll be live for Pete. I'll be at Pete Dobson versus Conor Benn. So a lot of stuff going on here on True School Sports. But listen, as you guys file in, as you guys, begin to join the live and all that good stuff, leave your comments down below. We'll definitely love to interact with you. Now, let's just jump right into it, and then we'll go from there. But we got this fight, this random fight. It's a fight that I really, I didn't think of. I couldn't conjure it up in my head.
Yeah.
But you got the return of Keith Thurman.
It's what's crazy about this whole thing. After the live, it was like, what we're gonna talk about tomorrow. And sure enough, the news pops up. Yeah.
So thank you, Al Haymon.
Yeah, thank you, Al Haymon, for putting up this card up. It's actually not a bad card, so I'm really happy for him. Me personally, how do you feel about that Thurman and Tszyu? I think Thurman to me has been inactive for a while, so I'm glad I'm hearing his name, but I'm not really glad that I'm hearing his name. You know what I mean?
So you want to know how I feel about it?
Yeah.
This is how I feel about it.
Oh shit. Here we go.
I feel like Keith Thurman is a sacrificial lamb.
Oh wow.
He's the proverbial sacrificial lamb for Tim Tszyu, because I think that PBC, they have a working relationship with Tim Tszyu, and they see value in Tim Tszyu. He's got a country behind him. He's the son of a legend. All that stuff. So there's a chance for him legitimately. Got a fun style.
Yeah.
There's a chance for him legitimately to become a star in the sport. So what better way for him to become a bigger star than to fight one of their older stars who's on the way out? Cash him out, and it'll be the first fight on the new Amazon Prime platform.
Yeah, I think that's pretty good. I think what I like about for Tszyu side, for him becoming the legitimate star we're talking about, is that I like about him. It's one of my favorite things that here in True School School we really respect a lot, when you stay active. And I think making Tszyu stay active the way he's keeping himself active, regardless if he's not getting the big fights right now, just waiting his turn to get the bigger fights, it's good for him because it keeps him related with all the audience,
Absolutely. So look, let's get into it. We're gonna go to screen share. By the way, guys, I'm gonna let y'all know this. Now. I don't know when it's gonna happen, but in the middle of me talking about Tim Tszyu and Thurman, we may have to stop because funny enough, I should have actually said this in the beginning of the show. Angelo Leo, my main man, the former 122 bantamweight champion for the WBO, he's got his big fight next week against Mike Plania on Pro Box. He's supposed to be stopping by, but I don't know exactly when he's stopping by. So whenever he stops by is whenever he stops by.
Right.
Hopefully he stops by. But nonetheless, let's get into it. And we'll go to screen share. So here it is. Y'all see it in all of its glory. Tim Tszyu, Keith Thurman, a fight that none of us really ever thought was gonna happen. They got everything in order now. They got the official fight poster. They got all the D's dotted. And listen, date, location, venue, all that's in there. And so
we know it's real.
They'll be fighting not just in any arena too. It's a big venue. T-Mobile Arena.
Yeah.
The home of the Las Vegas Golden Knights and whatnot, and one of the premier venues in Las Vegas for boxing. So look, I've said it for a while. I thought that Tim Tszyu was long overdue to fight in the big venues in America. I think the year he had last year, he definitely earned it, right? He definitely earned it. And so Keith Thurman, he's a fighter that has competed at 152 in the amateurs. If you guys remember, before the Crawford-Thurman fight was finalized, there were rumors that Thurman was going to fight Spence at 154. So it really is not the most surprising thing. And the funny thing is, right, just so you guys know, this fight, where is it? This fight, the WBO title will not be on the line. The title will not be on the line because the WBO decided that they wouldn't sanction the fight because, where is it? I had it somewhere here. Here it is. The WBO decided that they weren't going to sanction the fight because basically Keith Thurman hasn't boxed in 25 months, and they'd have to break their own rules to, sanction the title. So this is the actual quote from the WBO PR team. They said, and I quote, "We are not sanctioning the fight for Tim's 154 title because Thurman has been inactive and hasn't fought at 154, nor is he rated. We simply cannot break the rules."
You think he's past his prime? His days are past him?
Come on, we all know that. Someone was telling me, they were like, "Oh, BT True School, he could knock Tszyu out," and I said, "How? He hasn't knocked anybody out in almost 10 years. Last knockout was 2015."
I mean, but
like, we need to stop. Boxing fans need to stop romanticizing the past. You guys think this is still 2014 and Keith Thurman is this hungry contender that's trying to fight Floyd Mayweather, who's a WBO mandatory. Yeah, it's not 2014 anymore. He's older. There's more miles on the odometer. I don't think he's as hungry as he used to be, and it's been reflecting for a long time. Now, funny enough, and I mentioned this in my video. I said PBC started this new era off the way they started the last era off, which is, when they went on NBC, the first ever show, Keith Thurman headlined that show with Robert Guerrero. And then shout out to my man Bobby Santos, Bob Santos' son. He messaged me on Instagram today, and he also pointed out to me that when Keith Thurman fought Manny Pacquiao, that was also the opener of the PBC on Fox era. Damn, so this will be the third time Keith Thurman will be opening up, a era on a big network on PBC. So I call him Mr. PBC for no reason. I don't just call that for no reason, So, yeah. What do you think about this, Pops?
I mean, no disrespect to Keith Thurman, but I would rather see Tszyu fight a more up to date or better, a younger or fresher fighter than Keith Thurman. I'm not really mad at. I'm not mad at it from the Tszyu side of things, because you gotta understand, Tszyu, he already, like last year, a lot of people thought he could have beat Tony Harrison, right? Yeah. Beat the crap out of him. A lot of people, myself included, thought he was the, Brian Mendoza might have had some form. So he's been fighting good competition. Right. I think he deserves a fight like this, where maybe it's against a guy who is past it, but still a name. Because you gotta remember, Tszyu has to build himself into a star in the States. And that's true. Shout out to Dan Canobio. He had a great tweet, which I agree with. He said, "I love the idea of PBC building Tszyu into a star here in the States. Terrence Crawford, Earl Spence, Virgil Ortiz, all possible bangers at 154. Yeah, that's down the road. Yeah. So I mean, that's good. And what I like about Thurman opened up the shows, and he's about to close all the shows. You know what I'm saying? Of his career. Not even just that. You also got, like, on a lesser level, if they wanted to, they could make a fight with him and Fundura. If he wins this fight, or maybe he fights the winner of Fundura versus Boachuk. That's an exciting fight as well. So there's no shortage of options. And then Dan didn't even mention the fact that, let's just say, if Jerron Ennis ever got frustrated of being at 40, if he got frustrated at being at 47, okay, there's nothing here for me at 47 that could really show the world how great I am. He could always move up. That's true, right? So the possibilities for Tszyu are endless, but he has to win this fight. Now, as far as Keith Thurman, like, what are his chances to win the fight? I really think it's damn near slim to none. Like, I give him almost no chance. Not because he's not a high-level fighter. He is a high-level fighter. But y'all are romanticizing the past. This is not 2014. This is not the Keith Thurman that even fought Sean Porter or Danny Garcia. He hasn't boxed in 25 months, and he's about to fight the most active, match-fit fighter at the championship level of boxing. On his prime. This is only going to end. I'm telling you guys, maybe it winds up being an entertaining fight. I hope it is, because I want to be a satisfied fight fan. But this is only going to end one way. Yeah. And it's going to end with destruction. Yeah. So we'll see. But Calix Boxing, shout out to him. Make sure you guys go subscribe to Calix Boxing. He said
Tim Tszyu is going to destroy what's left of Keith Thurman. It's a good lead up to Terrence Crawford. And yes, that's how I view it. I view this fight as.
So you think that this is a retirement fight?
It's a cash out fight.
Yeah. So
it's exactly what it is.
Sayonara.
Yeah, but look, Pops, we gotta cut that segment short. Listen, guys, we got my main man here, my main man, 50 grand. We got Angelo Leo. What's good, man?
How you guys doing? How you doing? I'm doing great.
Good to see you, man. It's actually great to see you. I'm happy you hopped on.
Yeah, thank you. Likewise.
Thank you so much.
Man. Got a big fight coming up. I mean, I'll be there in Plant City next week. Okay. Mike Plania, man, how you feeling about it?
Oh man, I'm feeling great. Wrapping up camp, everything's going good, everything's going smooth. Just crossing our T's and dotting the I's, and that's about it. And we're ready to go for it next Wednesday.
Absolutely, and it's so great, right? Because you were a fighter that for like 2 years you were kind of like you were inactive. You were to the boxing world. I mean, I know you, but to the boxing world, you kind of became a little bit of an afterthought because like, where's Angelo Leo? You're not one of these guys that's on social media talking a lot. Mm-hmm. So now you got 2 fights and what is it, like 3 months now? So like, I'm sure it's got
3 months.
That's got to feel sensational.
It does. That's what every fighter dreams of becoming a world champion, but also being active.
Yeah.
Like they say in boxing, a fighter could get old overnight. So it's important you stay active, you stay in the gym, and that's exactly what I did. I'll stay in the gym, and that's why I was able to put on a great performance like last time.
Yeah, and speaking of that performance against Nicholas Polanco, you kind of ruined it for a lot of fighters, man, that have inactivity because you had 2 years inactivity, and I actually think you looked about as sharp as I've ever seen you look. Mm-hmm. What do you feel like mentally like leveled you up as a fighter? Because that Angelo that I saw in the Polanco fight was significantly different than the Angelo I saw in Houston when you fought Aaron Alameda.
Yeah. No, you just keeping that hunger, keeping that hunger, and not being able to break me. A lot of fighters will get discouraged after not fighting for 2 years, But me, I've always had that dream of becoming a world champion and also succeeding that in becoming a 2-time, 3-time as sky's the limit for me. So I'm trying to do the best I can in my career and leave no stone unturned in my career. And so that's what I bring into my training every day is that hunger that's what you need to become a world champion.
No, 100%. Like I remember very vividly when I was in Vegas a lot, like 2021, 2022. And right, so I seen you spar a number of times. And I remember telling you, I said, man, Angelo, you got a good jab. I seen it in sparring when you would spar certain fighters. Yeah. You got a really good jab. You got to trust your jab more. So it was good to see like in the Polanco fight, you finally starting to trust your boxing skills a little more because you do have boxing skills. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, exactly. And sometimes it just takes a little bit more experience, a little bit more comfortability for some fighters. And in this case, I've always had those attributes, but now that I'm older, I'm more mature. Those wrinkles are starting to show in my game.
Yeah, like in that fight, I remember with Polanco, you kind of walked him down in the Philly shell. I'm like, what the heck is this? Like, when did he have this?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm talking about. Like people don't realize the fighter that I am. It's gonna take a little bit more time for me to get comfortable in it. But now, I've reached my prime. I'm 29 years old. I'm in the prime of my career right now. So you're gonna start seeing those wrinkles. You're gonna start seeing those different looks in Angelo Leo.
Yeah, man, it's got me real fired up. I know. Throughout this whole layoff, like you were sparring a lot of fighters. I did ask you about this when I interviewed you in Plant City, but I wanted to ask you about it again and go a little deeper. Yeah. You sparred Shakur Stevenson, one of the more skilled technical fighters in the sport. Was that like a sparring session where your confidence was further validated that like, look, I knew I was one of the best fighters in the world. I've been champion, but now sparring like him, I know even more I'm one of the best fighters in the world. Was that like a sparring session where you felt that way after?
Yeah, in sort of in a way, but I've always had that mentality that I have that world champion pedigree.
Yeah.
So, sparring him, it was just like, I could be in there with, top guys. You know, Shakur Stevenson, he's a top level fighter. So me being there with him, handling my own, he's also a heavier fighter too. So, you know, it does give a little validation, but you know, I've always had that championship mindset. When you have that mindset, you know, that's all that matters.
No, 100%. Like, was he hard to hit in the ring? Because like, you know, on the outside, it looks like, you know, he barely gets touched. So like,
Yeah.
from when you're actually in there with him, like, what makes Shakur Stevenson like so hard to hit?
His distance. He has good
Yep.
distance control. He knows how to control the distance, and he's got a good footwork to move him out of range. A good side to side movement, and yeah, that's about it. But he was everything I expected. You know, because
Okay.
I've studied him. I've watched him fight before, and I've known what to expect. So it wasn't nothing like too crazy. It was everything I expected.
Okay. You feel like maybe if he fights like a tank like that, he'd be able to do that for like 12 rounds? Because I don't think he'd knock him out, so he'd have to probably outbox him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So that's a different story right there, because you know Tank is also southpaw.
Because you spar a
Tank,
tank, so you have good perspective on that. Like,
yeah, yeah, yeah. Tank is definitely the harder puncher, that's for sure. Tank has good ring IQ as well. He has good ring IQ as well. He's snappy, he's explosive, and when you have that type of power, you know, like they say in boxing, it only takes one punch.
and you get your light switched off any moment, you know.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, but kind of getting back to you, man. You're back now. You're like shooting up the rankings, like you're just ascending up the rankings. You were like, there was one time I checked, you were like 13, and then I came back a couple of days later, and you were 9. Now you're 9.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you know, should you take care of business against Plania, you know, I would be led to believe you're going to be in the top 5. You'll be right there knocking on the door of a title shot. And you know, there's a big title fight on March 2nd. I know you're aware of it. Orbek Komatov versus Raymond Ford. How do you feel about the winner of that fight, and how do you think you match up against both those guys?
You know, I would like the winner of either one of them. You know, whoever the winner may be, I'm up for it. That's like I've always said, the main goal is to become a world champion, no matter who it is. You know, if it's Raymond Ford, we watched him before. Odebek, we watched him before, and I know I have a good team. I have a great team, so they'll come up with the game plan for me and myself. I'll do the same, do my due diligence, and we'll figure a way how to beat them.
Okay, all right, yeah, because I think you versus either one is a really good fight.
Yeah, it is.
Especially you and Komatov. I like that matchup a lot. It's a good.
Komatov is good. Komatov is good. Also Espinosa. I like Espinosa as well for me.
I'm so glad you brought that up. That was gonna be a question I asked because he's a WBO champion. You know, you were WBO champion at 22, so maybe like I don't know how that works. Maybe you could use your X status as a WBO champion to maybe get that fight.
Yeah, that's a possibility as well. I think winning this fight will put me in more of the rankings with other sanctioning bodies. So let's see how it plays out. But it's looking like WBA. I'm ranked number 9 in the WBA, so they might go that route. But hey, this is boxing. You never know.
Yeah, things change hour to hour. You know, forget day by day. They change hour to hour. So we'll see how it goes.
I mean, look what happened right now. Like you see, Rolly was supposed to fight Ryan. Ryan was supposed to fight Rollies and whatnot, and all of a sudden, boom, Rollies fighting Pitbull. Now De La Hoya, now Ryan, they're mad. See, that's just the way boxing is. You never know, you know. It's a cutthroat business. A lot of snakes in the grass in this game.
Well, you know what? Well, you brought up a good point. You said there's a lot of snakes in the grass, man. We're not gonna out nobody or talk bad about anybody, but as far as the boxing business, because I do know that you were a fighter that was affected by it for a couple of years. How do you feel like? What advice would you give to like younger fighters on how to navigate the sport? Because everyone knows like the fighters always focus on the fighting, but they don't realize sometimes until they're actually in it that maybe being business minded and having a good team behind you is just as important as having a good jab.
Yeah, exactly. My advice would probably be get a lawyer.
Yeah,
you always want to have a good lawyer. Have a lawyer that could read a contract well, and with that, that's all you really need in this sport. Because when you're able to understand the contracts and the clauses that that these managers and these promoters have, then you're able to navigate the way you want and steer a career the right way, and not get suckered by the money, not get suckered by this and that. And just a lawyer is everything in this game. So that's what I give. That's the advice I give to the younger fighters.
Okay. We got a question for you, Angelo. My man David Esther. He says, Angelo, have you ever seen Eduardo Sugar Nunez fight? He's at 130. He said you better stay away from him.
No, I don't know who that is. To be honest.
He's this Mexican fighter who signed. I think he signed to Eddie Hearn. He has a lot of knockouts. He just. I've seen him fight. I don't think it's anything to worry about if you were to go up there. But you're not 30, so there's no.
I'm not 30 yet, but eventually, our plan is to move up to 130. So hey, hopefully in the future we meet up with them. But right now, focus on 126, getting those titles at 126.
And Mike Plania.
Yeah, exactly.
What do you know about Mike Plania? Because I know like he burst onto the scene when he beat Joshua Greer when Greer had a little name in boxing. But like, what do you know about Plania, and what kind of fight do you expect?
Yeah, that's the first time I actually seen him too, was when he fought Joshua Greer. I know he's explosive. He's got a good hook. He's got some pop in his punch. But I do know that he lost to Raiz, and he lost to what's his name, the last dude.
Plania.
What's his name? Yeah, no.
Elijah Pierce.
Yeah, him.
Yeah, Elijah Pierce.
So he lost to him, and no, but he's aggressive. He's aggressive counter puncher. But we got a game plan for him.
Okay, good game. I'm sure it's a good one. I know your dad. He's like the evil professor, man. He knows. the bad professor of boxing.
He's the mastermind. Between both of us, and my whole team, we figured out a good game plan, and I think we should get the W next Wednesday.
Okay. We've got another question for you, Angelo. This guy asks, have you ever thought about going to 122 again? 122 again if they have 100 million in yen? I don't know much. I don't know what that translates to in dollars, but.
Man, I couldn't make a 122 if even. Yeah, no, I don't think I would do it.
Yeah, you can't make 122 at all, right? Like that's
122 is too difficult. I really sacrifice a lot with my body, and it's honestly it's to the point where like it's not good for my health.
Yeah.
Not just boxing wise, but for like health reason wise. I just think 126 is where I feel good. 126 is not too difficult to make.
Yeah,
but it's still difficult, but it ain't like where I'm, killing my body like the way I was at 122.
Yeah, I remember. I was there with you when you fought Alameda, so I literally saw how, like your eyes, like you're all sunken in and whatnot. So
yeah. I mean, you seen it. You see how I look like,
And you made it on the dot. Like when you fought Alameda, that was your last fight. It was literally on the dot.
Yeah, 122 on the dot.
So. No, you can't go to 122. But as far as your weight class, right? And around your weight, because there's a lot of Japanese fighters, not just Inoue, but like even like I don't know if you know Hayato Tsutsumi. He's like ranked right below you at 10.
No, I haven't heard of him. No.
Yeah, he's just like he's this Japanese fighter. He's like maybe I think he's 4-0, like one knockout. He just scored his first knockout. But he's like a really good boxer, really good technical fighter, But
okay,
I wanted to ask you, Angelo, like as far as whether it be Inoue or whoever else, you feel like you got an advantage when you fight these Japanese fighters compared to most fighters from the USA because you've got a lot of sparring with Japanese fighters. Like I know you sparred Subaru Murata, I know you sparred Tenshin Nasukawa. Do you feel like that gives you an advantage with the Japanese style?
Yeah, I've kind of picked up on their style a little bit as far as as far as the way they move and all that, and they're all pretty similar, to be honest. Like they're all real similar. They're great fighters. Don't get me wrong. All of them are great fighters. They're very technical by the book and all that. But I've got a taste of like how they move and all that. So we could kind of gauge a little bit of how they operate. Yeah. How they operate. There you go.
Yeah. So like if you had to explain it to somebody, like what is the Japanese style? Like how would you explain it as somebody who's been in the ring with the many Japanese fighters?
I would have to say like they're kind of like, I guess you would say textbook.
Okay.
You could say textbook. Like they're real. Everything's like real crisp. You know, you're not gonna see like a lot of like
looping shots,
a lot of like overhands or like, you know, coming from like swinging from like all different angles like Maidana. You're not gonna see that type of stuff with the Japanese.
Yeah, no gunslinging.
Yeah, exactly. It's more
Yeah.
like ba 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 ba.
Okay.
Yeah.
My man Jairo, he wants to know from you, Angelo. He says, can you recreate the knockout you did to Glenn Porras to Mike Plania? Remember that knockout? I know you remember it.
Yeah.
Out there at Samstown.
Yeah. Oh, we'll see. You guys gonna have to tune in. You know, we'll see.
Gotta tune in, man. Gotta tune in. That was a good knockout. I remember, like, you kind of like you were in the pocket, you went backwards, you angled backwards, and then you put like a left hook to the liver and you stopped him.
Yeah, no, it was like a setup with the right uppercut and then a body shot. Kind of like, you know, it's a classic Mexican combo.
Yeah,
you know, you've seen it. You've seen Canelo throw it. You've seen Chavez throw it. You've seen all of them throw it.
Yeah, it is a classic Mexican combo. You know, speaking of Mexicans, I know like one of the Mexican fighters from back then, like Daniel Zaragoza, you know, he beat up a lot of Japanese fighters, and seeing as that, you know, you're Mexican and you probably have to fight a lot of Japanese fighters, you might want to be in like the next Daniel Zaragoza.
Yeah, you know, I know Zaragoza, he fought a lot of Japanese fighters, and so did Finito Lopez, right?
Yeah. Oh my God.
I don't know if he fought a lot, but I know he did fight a
Ricardo Lopez actually knocked out Inoue's promoter. He knocked out Hideki Ohashi.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. I think you were telling me. Yeah.
And Zaragoza, he beat I don't know if you know Juichiro Tatsuyoshi. He's like a legend out there.
No, I don't.
I learned who he was when I went to Japan. Everyone was like, "Do you know Juichiro Tatsuyoshi?" I'm like, "Nah, I don't know who that is." But he knocked him out, and then he knocked out another Japanese fighter, Kiyoshi Hatanaka, who was WBC champion. So
okay, I see.
Yeah, but yeah, man. Speaking, you know, I gotta ask again, man, because like after your fight, I know you were kind of in a rush because, you know, your adrenaline's pumping. So I kind of got you now more in a relaxed state. But
yeah,
I wanted to really like pick your brain because I talk about it. I do mention it a lot in my videos, man. Like, I really do want to see you fight the monster. Like, I really do think that's gonna maybe not right now because he's still at 22 and you got business to take care of, Plania and other guys. But I think he's gonna do what he's got to do. I feel like you're gonna do what you're gonna got to do, and I feel like that's gonna want to becoming one of the best matchups at featherweight down the road. So
I do think so as well.
How do you feel about that fight, man? Because when I bring it up, the Inoue fans they judge you off of what they've seen against, you know, Stephen Fulton and Alameda, and they don't know, you know, how you are now. But like, how do you feel about that fight?
Oh man, I love it. You know, and that's what I'm here for. You know, to challenge myself. I know Inoue, he's probably one of the top 3 pound for pound fighters in the world right now, depending on who you ask. And me fighting him and beating him will put me in that superstardom. Will put me in that superstar status. And Absolutely. You know, I love the matchup. You know, like you said earlier, I've sparred a lot of Japanese fighters. I know how they all kind of fight similar, but you know, of course, Inoue is in a whole different level. But you know, I'm up for the challenge, and I love that fight for me.
Yeah, and I know you even sparred Marlon Tapales before, who fought Inoue. Did you see anything? Well, first of all, what did you think about that performance from Inoue, and did you see anything that in that fight that maybe said you looked at it and you said, you know what, I can do this better than Marlon. I could exploit, you know, X, Y, and Z against Inoue. Did you get any confidence from that?
Exactly, I did, and I don't think Inoue looked as good as he did against Fulton in that fight. People got to realize that Tapales, he does punch pretty hard. You know, he could crack. But I seen some kinks in Inoue's armor that I can exploit. You know, me being a bigger fighter, you know, he is fast. He has a good right hand and all that. But we can all combat that. You know, we can all combat that. I have a different style that he hasn't seen. And I think it would be a great matchup.
Absolutely. As far as like, you know, him, I know that one thing because I actually had a chance. I know you've seen it because I sent it to you. Donaire, I never Nonito Donaire, who I know you sparred a lot, and he even admitted in the interview that you were the first guy to put him down in sparring with a body shot. But but he said that he feels like you have a style where you could put Inoue on his back foot, smother him, and you have the gas tank and all those things. Would you agree with that assessment, or do you feel like there's other things aside from that people haven't even seen yet that also could be to his detriment if you fight him?
Both, both.
Yeah.
I do agree with Nonito, and I also agree that I have different looks too as well. If I need to switch it up and move around and box him, we could do that as well. But if we need to stay in the pocket, and make it rough in there, we could do that as well. Whichever way. People know they've seen the fight against Fulton. They've seen the fight with Alameda. With Alameda, I was able to adjust a little bit, use the angles, move around, and with Fulton, it was just kind of come forward, just in the pocket the whole time. So, and Polanco was a whole different me in there, and I was able to show a different snap, a different pop in my punch, and it would be a great matchup.
Yeah, you feel like it'd be one of the best fights in boxing?
I think so. I honestly do.
Yeah, because he's got high IQ. I know you got a high IQ, and so I got my fingers crossed, man. I got my fingers crossed. Just y'all both keep winning. And
I like that one. Yeah, as soon as he moves up to 126, I want that fight.
Yeah. Well, would you go to Japan for that fight, or would that be a fight where it's in the USA? Or
oh man, that's a good question.
Does it really just depend on the organizers and what's presented?
I think what's presented. What's presented. But I would love it to be here in LA or Vegas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'm so glad you said it like that because I thought since the Top Rank signed him, like they haven't really promoted him much in LA. And I know I used to live out in LA. I know you're familiar with the area. And I
used to live in LA. There's a lot of Japanese there. There's a lot of Mexicans there.
There you go.
And I think fighting there would be great. Would be great. It'd be in a basically neutral ground because I'm from, Vegas, Albuquerque, New Mexico, and all that. And of course he's gonna be a star anywhere he goes because he's Inoue.
Yeah, absolutely. But you know what, man? And I'm not just saying this because like you're my friend and we're cool, but like I genuinely think you're gonna be a star too when it's all said and done, and then people will catch on. I think so. And I thought that for quite some years now. So we'll see how it goes with Inoue. But as we got a couple of questions for you, Angela. Actually, we got a man right here. He says, "Could we see you on PBC on Amazon Prime? There's a former champion with a hot sister." So I think he's talking about Brandon Figueroa.
Oh yeah. Okay. Can we see? All right. Yeah. It's a high possibility. I just leave it at that. It's a high possibility. I mean, we're open to whichever avenue. Whichever avenue is presented to us. If the money's right, if everything is right, then we could go for it. But if not, there's other avenues.
There's plenty of other avenues. One of those avenues, and this guy right here, he said he wants to see you fight Mark Moxayo. He thinks that'd be a great fight. And I know
Moxayo, okay.
I know you fought some Filipinos in the past. You fought was it Glenn Porras?
Glenn Porras,
Neil John Tabino. Yep.
Mark John Yap. Yeah, so I fought quite a few of them already.
Yeah, so you pretty much know what you're getting yourself into with the Filipinos. He's fought Nito plenty,
They, I guess they know who I am too out there in the Philippines. Yeah.
Do you have a lot of Filipino fans?
I do actually. It's a lot of Filipino fans. Shout out to all my Filipino fans. But yeah, I do.
Okay. Now Enrique asked, "Who's your promoter?" We know who your promoter is. Your promoter is ProBox, right? You're with ProBox.
ProBox.
I did watch the interview you did with my brother Nez from the Boxing Voice. Shout out to him. And he kind of asked you about the details of your contract. I guess I'll ask the same question, because ProBox is a smaller company, Angelo. So the question would be why ProBox? Why ProBox over like Top Rank or Matchroom or these other companies?
Yeah, they're just they're a smaller company, yes, but they're able to focus on my career a little bit more. Whereas Top Rank, they got a lot of fighters and all that. And I think they're real focused on steering me the right direction to get to that world title, and as well as they're not just closed off to one one partner or one collaboration as, you know, like Top Rank or PBC or DAZN. They're kind of open to all of them. So that's a good thing to have right there.
Yeah, they have that flexibility.
Right.
Okay. As far as like the actual contract and stuff, I know when you did the interview with Ness, you said it was a multi-year deal, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so do they pay you, like, is there a set amount they pay you for a fight, or how does that work with Pro Box compared to, like, let's say when you were with PB or maybe other promotions?
Yeah, no, it's just through contract. Whatever they present me on the contract.
Okay, just a flat number, like you're making X amount of dollars this fight, you're making X amount of dollars that fight.
Exactly.
Type
Yeah.
thing. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When you fought Polanco, the right after you got out the ring, you met up with a great fighter, Hall of Famer Manuel Marquez, and you know, I saw you when you posted it on Instagram. It kind of blew you up a little bit on Instagram, that whole interaction you had with him. For people that didn't see that interaction that you had with Marquez, so what exactly did he say to you?
So basically, I went up to him, asked him like, you know, he congratulated me on my fight, and then I asked him any advice you could give me, and he just told me, you know, I hit really well to the body, and I have a good overhand right, but why not throw more than just that overhand right after that punch, you know, followed up with several punches after, and that's basically what he said.
Okay. Yeah, I thought it was cool to see you guys talking to each other.
Yeah, it actually went viral. That's what's crazy. It's like right now, I think it's like at 5 million views right now.
No, bro, because I remember when you said 5 million.
It's at 5 million right now. Yeah,
Jeez,
it's crazy.
Man. You doing better than me.
Yeah, I wasn't expecting that at all because I had posted it on TikTok, right?
Okay.
And TikTok it didn't really take off. But I posted on Instagram, like next thing you know, I wake up in the morning and it's got like 1 million views or like 800,000, close to 1 million. I was like, oh, snap, it's crazy.
No, super crazy. Because like I remember before you posted it, I mean, I don't remember what your follower account was, but I just remember like I came back a couple of days after you posted it and your follower account was like higher. I noticed that it was higher, and more people that I knew in boxing were following you. I'm like, that I know were following you. And I'm like, okay, that's good for him. He needs something to go viral.
Yeah. No, it was a lot of followers. To this day, I still get a lot of followers from that video.
That's good, man. You know, we need more people should know who Angelo Liu is, because eventually, you know, I know you do want to fight in Albuquerque. I know that's a big thing for you. I don't know what's the big venue, like if you were to fight in Albuquerque, like what's the big venue out there? Like what would be the dream venue?
It'd have to be the Pit. Either the Pit, where the Lobos play. The college basketball team, that's their stadium, is the Pit. Or I would have to say the Tingley Coliseum.
Okay. Who plays there?
Tingley Coliseum is more like it's just like a stadium for
just events, just random events.
For events, for like they do boxing, they do MMA, they also do like rodeos. Things of that nature.
Okay. Another thing I wanted to ask you about, man, because I did see it. It was kind of funny because I had a feeling that this was gonna happen. I saw that a dude in your old weight class called you out, Elijah Pierce.
Yeah.
I think he was basically saying like, you're fighting my scraps, Mike Plania, because he already fought Mike Plania. Why don't you get in the ring with a real dog or something like that?
Yeah.
What was your overall take on, I guess, Elijah Pierce calling you out?
I thought it was funny, you know. I just thought it was funny because, I mean, he's just, like, if you put it that way, then he took my scraps, you know.
When he fought Tremaine Williams.
In Tremaine Williams, yeah. So I took Tremaine's. I take Tremaine's 0, and if he wants to get that fight on, we can get it too. I'll take his 2.
Okay. Oh, he said I'll take his 2 because he got it.
Yeah. I mean, I took Tremaine's 0. I'll take his 2.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, be a good fight. I know. I think he'd move up for it because he's fought at 130 before, but that'd be an entertaining fight. I know he talks a lot of shit. So
I heard.
Yeah, he brings like props to the weigh-ins. Like he brought like a dude a walker one time. He brought Mike Plania a stripper.
McDonald's.
He bought the McDonald's thing. Yeah, he's crazy.
But that's good for the sport, though. It brings excitement. You bring entertainment. So
we need guys like that. We need guys like Elijah Pierce in the sport.
Yeah, of course. You're always gonna have like that. You're always gonna have people like that in this game.
Yeah. So that could be one for the future. That added to the list of options.
Right.
Yeah. Got a couple questions for you, Angelo. My man right here, he says, it's more of a statement. He said, I think he should work with Golden Boy because he's Mexican and then that's what they want. I mean, he was pro box, but
yeah.
Was that ever in the car? Like was a Golden Boy ever a possibility? Like was that ever a possibility at any point in time? You and Golden Boy?
Me and my team, we had talked about it. We discussed it, but nothing really came to fruition about it with them.
Okay. And then he also asked you, Angelo, is it hard fighting southpaw? Is it harder fighting southpaws or slick black fighters? I think that's a question. Yeah.
Neither one of them. I got the style to combat them. So
all of them. You're a complete fighter.
All of them. Yeah.
All of them. Yeah. Like what kind of? There's no style. Bro, you've been boxing long enough, right? Because there was this one video. I was looking for it actually. There was this one video on Ellie Setback channel from when you were like, to use the South Florida time. When you were a jit, bro. Like when you were a kid.
Yeah.
You were outside the gym with your boy Paul Ponce, and
right.
It was like you were like, how old are you? Probably like 7 or 8 in that.
No, but I was in high school.
Oh, you were high school?
Yeah, I was in high school.
Oh,
yeah.
you look like a kid.
I was like, yeah, no. I look young. Like even to this day, everyone thinks I'm like. I tell them I'm 29. They think I'm like 21, like 22 years old. But no, I was in high school at that time. I think I was a sophomore, so I was like 15, 16 years old.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying I'm bringing it up because I'm saying you've been boxing from back then, so you've seen every style. Like at this point, you shouldn't be like if you go to the gym to spar, or if you go to fight. I'm sure you're not one of those guys who says, "Oh, I don't want to fight him because you have this style." Like because that does happen. in boxing.
Yeah. Nah, like I've seen it all pretty much. I sparred the slick fighters. I sparred the southpaws and all that. I sparred like the counter punchers, the aggressive, come forward fighters. I've seen it all. So like nothing really surprised me at this point. I got a lot of experience under my belt. So I mean, with me, it all comes down to me. Like if I train hard, I put my mind to it like 110%. I know I could beat anyone out there in the featherweight division.
No, 100%. You mentioned fighting Vaquero earlier, right? Because I think there's 2 interesting fights out there for you. I mean, you got to focus on Planilla, of course, but like so when you were champion, right? You had Merjan, who was champion, right? When you had the belt, he was champion, right? I know he was champion when you had the belt.
I believe so. Yeah.
And then I know Navarrete was also champion while you were champion, right? I could be wrong, but
I think he was a 126 champion.
Was he 126? Maybe I'm getting it mixed up.
Yeah, because I won the vacant title.
You're right. Yeah. You're right. But like, I look at those 2 fights down the road, especially the Merjan fight, because there's all that history because you guys had that infamous sparring session that was on Dante's channel at Johnny Toko's.
Yeah.
I would like that fight, man. You and Merjan, because I always thought that was a good fight for you.
Yeah, that would be a great fight. If it moves up to 126, I like that fight. Whoever it may be, I know Brandon Figueroa was at 122 as well at one point. Mm-hmm. I would like that. I like that fight as well. But whatever makes sense.
Whatever makes sense. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna ask you this question, Angelo. A lot of times when fighters they become pro or they start boxing as kids, they love it. It's pure. Then they become pros. Then the business of boxing kind of sours them. And I feel like you're at a stage now where you kind of already seen it all. You've been through all the highs and the lows of boxing, being champion, losing in the title fight, being business of boxing. Now, do you still love boxing? Like is the love still as pure as it was maybe when you were a kid?
Of course, that's what I've always had, that love for boxing. The sport of boxing is a beautiful thing, but the business is dirty. The business is dirty, and you just gotta take it for what it is. This is what we signed up for. Mm-hmm. You can't take nothing personal in this sport, and you just gotta roll with the punches in this game.
No,
and that's it. That's what I did these last 2 years that I hadn't fought. That love for boxing has always been there. If not, I would have quit a long time ago.
Yeah, no, of course.
Mm-hmm.
For me, this is that was a rhetorical question because I know you. I've watched Fights That We Talk frequently, so I know you love boxing, but I had to get it on record for the
You just wanted to
watch.
see that. You want to pick my brain and all that.
Yeah, I want to pick your brain, man. See where your head is at. And I know like what you come from New Mexico, like your name is already going to be in the history books, like when you hang the gloves up, because you're the first New Mexican Albuquerque champion since the Danny Amiros and the Johnny Tapias when you beat Tremaine Williams. But I think so. Our friend Johnny, right? I talked to our friend Johnny a lot.
Yeah.
And he told me, and you can tell me if this is correct or not. But he told me that your one of your trainers, Luis Chavez, who's been with everybody in New Mexico. He said that apparently Luis Chavez once told Johnny that he thought that you were better than Johnny Tapia and Danny Amaro or something like that.
I think he did say something like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he did say something like that.
Yeah, and I know you talked to Danny Amaro too from time to time, right? You used to talk to him, or
I do. Yeah, I got his number actually.
Okay.
He messaged me here and there. I have he follows my career on Instagram and TikTok and all that. So yeah, he's real cool people.
Okay. Has there been like any gems or pieces of wisdom as far as being a fighter that Danny Amaro has told you that maybe helped you as a fighter or even as a person?
I can't think of anything off the top of my head. I know he did talk to me when I fought for the world title, but I don't quite remember anymore what he had said, just because I was focused on my fight. But if I go back to the message, I could probably find it. But no, I always study Danny Romero. Like when I'm bored, when I have nothing to do, I'll go on YouTube, throw on one of his fights, study him and all that. And it's just different, it's just different because I know he's from New Mexico. He's from my hometown. I'm like, to this day, even me being a world champion, like I still look up to him. I still see him as like, oh wow, like I could get something from him. I could, even Johnny Tapia, I could all get like something from them as far as their style.
No, of course. I think like Danny Amaro, similar with his style was it wasn't exactly similar to yours, but I feel like he was kind of like you, just doesn't have the angles. Like he didn't angle off to the side as much or any of that.
Yeah.
And he was probably, as far as one punch knockout power, I think he was probably a harder one punch guy. You beat these guys up and just wear them down, but
with punches, punches, body shots, and all that.
Yeah, but he's
Danny used to train really hard. From what I heard from Rudy Chavez, that he used to do a lot of calisthenics, a lot of strength and conditioning. That's why he was just so strong.
Yeah, of course. I know, like early in your career, like and a lot of these fights, some of them are on YouTube, some of them aren't. But like one thing that in the conversations we've had and whatnot, I know one thing that's been said is that like these guys that you fought early in your career, they were tough. Like you fought some tough guys on these like New Mexico club shows. Like, can you tell people about that, those early years where you were like coming up in New Mexico and there wasn't a lot of fanfare and there wasn't any other promotions and you weren't in Vegas? Like what were those early club shows in New Mexico like for Angelo Leo, those early fights?
Oh man, it was just my first fight, pro fight was against Xavier Pacheco.
Okay.
And he had went to the nationals as an amateur, so he was a top amateur. He was a decorated amateur in New Mexico, and I think I don't know if it's nationals or what, but he was good. He was a good fighter. He went on to fight Joshua Greer.
Okay.
He fought some other names that were good coming up in our time. And Xavier was pretty good. I fought Julio Gomez my second fight, who was a tough fighter as well. In my third fight, I fought a guy that was 39 years old. He was 20 years older than me. Had 30-some fights, but he did have a lot of losses. But he was tough. He was tough as nails, and he just kept coming. He was like a bull. And I haven't had it easy in my career. I didn't have the pleasure of padded records or fighters that are being have the opportunity to be built up and stuff like that. I was thrown to the wolves right away.
You didn't have the red carpet treatment like some of these guys get, like because something I watch these shows on like Top Rank, Matchroom, Golden Boy, and I'm like, man, this guy's just getting not gonna say no names, but this guy's just getting world class treatment, like these easy opponents to pad the record up. But like, so do you think maybe that's why your knockout percentage isn't higher? Because when I watch you spar, and when I was standing like maybe 10 feet from the ring, 20 feet from the ring when you fought Polanco, so I'm hearing them shots. I know you're not no pillow fisted fighter, but do you feel like that's why your knockout percentage isn't higher? Is maybe those early fights?
Yeah, I think so. I think just the competition in my career has always been tough. So, it's always tougher to knock out tough competition like that. And I feel like I've also developed more as a fighter now. So now I've got the man strength and all that, and I'm smarter now. But back then, I was still real young, so I didn't have that man strength that I do now. But no, I do think I should have more knockouts for sure, just because I fought not world class, but like tough fighters,
live bodies, like real live competition.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and no fighters that came to lay down or anything like that.
Where you just hit them and they fall over.
Yeah.
We got a couple more comments. Angelo, my man right here, QC says, "Yo, what's happened to BT? Just tuning in. I never really watched Angelo, but definitely know about you from BT. He's always showing love and praising your skills. Wishing you a blessed year, my G." Well, look, man, QC, if you hear that I'm constantly mentioning him, then you need to watch his damn fights, man. Let's get it together, man.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because you're like one of the guys I always talk about.
Yeah, you do. Shout out to you, BT.
Yeah, for sure. They want to know, have you ever done a camp in New Mexico? How are the gyms over there?
Well, yeah, my early career was all in New Mexico. It was all in Albuquerque, and the gyms there's not very much gyms out there, but there is a few. Some good fighters there though, for sure.
I mean, some good fighters come out of there. I know you got like yourself, Brian Mendoza, Austin Trouts came from there, Holly Holm. I know you got what's the girl's name? Shariah. You got her. She's pro now. So
yeah,
a lot of good talent.
Yeah. Right. There's great fighters out there. They just need that opportunity to shine. That's about it.
Yeah. Did you ever look up to John Jones?
Oh, actually, did I ever what? Did you say?
Did you ever look up? It says right here the question. Did you ever look up to John Jones?
He's from New Mexico. John Jones? No, I didn't, because he was part of UFC. I wasn't really into UFC at the time, but I do respect him as a fighter. I know he's good and all that, but I actually at my first job over there in New Mexico, he had walked into the restaurant, and he would always be there, and I guess like he would tip the bussers and the cashiers like $20 every time he was there.
Oh yeah, so he's a nice guy.
Yeah.
What job was that? What job was that? Where were you working?
I was a busser at a restaurant called Frontier. Okay, Frontier. It's a real popular restaurant out there in Albuquerque. If you ask anyone from Albuquerque, like where's Frontier or what's Frontier, so they'll tell you.
So if I go to Albuquerque to visit, is that somewhere I have to go? I know, like,
for sure.
There's that pizza spot. Was it Dino's? I bet you mentioned it. Dion's.
Yeah.
Dion's Pizza.
Go to Dion's and go to Frontier.
Okay, Dion's and Frontier.
Yeah,
Put that.
Trust me on that one. Yeah.
In my mental notes. I could be wrong. I remember when I was talking to you one time. Didn't you have a job like at Pinkberry?
I did. Yeah, that was my first job here in Vegas.
In Vegas,
I was working at a frozen yogurt shop called Pinkberry.
Didn't you work weren't you working with like a fighter? There wasn't another fighter that was working with you. I can't remember who it was. We were talking about it one time.
I worked with my friend. He's also a pro fighter, Gabe Gabaldon.
Okay. Yeah, Gabe. That's what it was. It was Gabe. It was
Gabe. Yeah. I worked with Gabe. But when I worked there was a lot of fighters that would come in. Surprisingly, Mike Tyson used to go there.
Yeah. What was that like? What was that like when you met Mike Tyson?
I was never there, but my friend Gabe, he would tell me that Mike would show up. He would get some yogurt. I also Jorge Linares was there one time.
Okay. You met him?
Yeah. I took a picture with him and everything there.
Okay. That's cool, man. So you've had an interesting journey, man. You went from the New Mexico club scene, like kind of in obscurity. Then you had jobs, like most fighters got jobs, and
yeah.
Then
so like, and not to mention, like I had a whole year of just fights in Mexico.
Just in Mexico,
in Mexico, like Chihuahua, Mexico. Like I fought Albuquerque, like my first 6 fights, Albuquerque, Colorado, around that area, right? And then I just had like a year where I fought in Mexico. I got 3 fights out there in Mexico.
What was that like? Because I mean, I never been out to Mexico for fights, but like, what was the Mexico fight scene like? Because I hear stories about it, but what was it like?
Yeah, no, it's those stories. Believe it, because it's true what they all say. You know, it's crazy out there. It's a different type of energy out there in Mexico. You know, they're real lively. They're loud, and if you're not good, they'll let you know.
Yeah, did they ever let you know?
They knew I was. They went for their guy, of course, but you know, I got my respects out there.
That's good. That's good, man. My man Tank wants to know, and I'll answer this again. Where's it's going to be on Pro Box. So for those of you just tuning in, shout out to all 26 here. We got Angelo Leo, you know, one of the top contenders in the featherweight division. You know, the former 122-pound champion. You know, one of the best fighters in the world in my eyes. He's going to be fighting Pro Box TV next Wednesday, right? Next Wednesday, January 31st. Yeah. He's taking on Mike Planilla, you know, the tough game and very formidable Mike Planilla. You know, if he wins the fight, then he moves up the rankings, and we're talking about big fights for him, you know, title fights potentially, or eliminators at least.
Right, yeah. Tune in, Pro Box TV next Wednesday.
Yes, sir. And then one other thing I want to ask you about, man, because I seen you post about it, and you had a son recently, beautiful son. Yeah, what's fatherhood been like for you? Because I mean, I haven't had the blessing to become a father yet, but from your perspective, what's fatherhood been like? You know,
it's been amazing. It's been amazing, man. It's a different journey, for sure. It's brought a whole new motivation to me, as far as a fighter, as far as a person. You know, like I want to provide for him. I want to do the best I can and be the best role model I possibly can for him. You know, and no, it's amazing. You know, it's something words can't explain. But you know, it's a blessing, definitely a blessing for me.
No, 100%. I've seen a couple of times, like on your stories. I think I seen him in the gym one time. Is he be in the gym with you?
Sometimes, yeah. Sometimes this camp, he did show up a few times. He did watch me train and all that, and he's actually starting to hit the bag a little bit.
Oh no!
It's pretty funny. Like I hit the bag, I punch it, and then he starts going like this to it.
Yeah, it starts banging on the bag. So you know, he might try to be like, you know, the Tszyu of your family. You know.
Yeah. You never know. You
know, so we'll see how it goes. But they want to know from you, Angelo, too. Like, who gave you the name El Chinito? Are you part Chinese?
Actually, I am. To answer that question.
Wait, you are?
Yeah.
No, you're not Chinese.
Yeah.
Well, you went on Ancestry.com and they told you you're like what, 0.5%
my
Chinese?
My great grandpa's from China. From my dad's side?
Yeah.
Yeah, so back like in the 1920s or 1930s, there was a big Chinese immigration to Mexico.
Okay.
And they immigrated to Mexico, and so that's the reason why I'm Leo. Like, you know, it's like Lee, but they wanted to make it more Spanish, so it's like Leo. And so
not Leal, like some of these people. I heard people butcher the name Leal. No, Angelo Leal.
It's not Leal. It's Leo, whichever one. I don't really care. Yeah. But you know, my great grandpa's Chinese, and that's the reason why I got the nickname, and I got that nickname from a friend out there in California. His name's Edgar. He's also a trainer. He used to train at the Who's Next boxing gym. He gave me that nickname. He was like, "Hey, Chinito." He always called me Chinito. And they gave me that nickname. A lot of people think I'm Filipino, just because like my features and all that. But no, I'm Mexican, and I have like a little bit of Chinese. That's why I look the way I look.
I mean, if I squint my eyes and when you get your haircut a certain way, if I squint my eyes and turn my head like 45 degrees, you could be, as Bob Aaron would say, Puerto Rican.
Oh yeah. You know what? I've actually gotten that before. Like they like, "Oh, you Puerto Rican?" I'm like, "No, I'm not Puerto Rican."
But yeah, I see. What's crazy, I've interviewed you so many times, and I you know, it's actually a challenge to interview because I know so much about you, so I feel like I've asked you everything. So it's actually impressive that I learned that I never knew you were Chinese. I never knew that.
Yeah. You didn't know that? That's crazy.
Like I knew that was your nickname, but I never thought that you were actually Chinese. I thought it was just given to you because you look Chinese, but I didn't know that you actually were Chinese.
Oh yeah. I'm a little bit Chinese, you know.
Damn, bro. Maybe you need to go fight in China. Get that Chinese
Right?
thing.
Yeah, be the next Zhu Shiming there.
Yeah, Zhu Shiming. But except you're gonna work out. Zhu Shiming. He didn't work out.
He didn't work out. I sparred him
Yeah.
before too.
Yeah. How was that? The sparring was.
That was man, I can't remember. That was 11 years ago. I sparred him like in 2013 over there at Wildcard.
Oh my god, yeah, because he was a big deal. Like
yeah.
Bob Arum, bro. You should have just told. I didn't just told Bob Arum you were Chinese, bro. He would have signed you right out the amateurs.
Oh yeah. Whatever happened to those fights they were throwing out there in Macau, China?
They just haven't had. I mean, they haven't had anybody to like bring out there. Like they haven't had anybody.
Didn't they have the Pacquiao Brandon Rios fight out there?
They did. They had well, I don't know Pacquiao Brandon. I know Pacquiao Algeria was out there. Pacquiao Algeria was in Macau. I don't know about Yeah, I don't know if Pacquiao Rios was out there. Maybe the chat can let me know, but
yeah,
shout out to my guy, the pride and joy of all North Las Vegas, my main man Johnny Cortijo. He says, I'm about to hop in the splasher. And I see my guys, and he said, I just want to say that Ryan is not La Raza.
He's not La Raza.
Yeah, man. Hey, what's your take on that? Bill Haney. Bill Haney was having a field day with that Ryan saying Ryan ain't Mexican.
I just think it's funny. I just think it's he's just hyping up the fight.
Yeah. What qualifies someone as Mexican, right? Because I hear fighters, like I've heard over the years fighters argue about that. Like when De La Hoya was gonna fight Chavez, they were like, oh, you're not Mexican enough. So what makes someone a Mexican in your eyes?
Oh man, that's a tough one because it's all different for everyone.
That could be a whole like 1 hour live in itself.
Yeah, like there are some Mexicans that probably will not accept me because I'm Mexican American. There are some Mexicans that will, so it's just like it's a kind of subjective in a way. But for the most part, you got to be Mexican. Like if you want to be backed by all of Mexico, you basically got to be Mexican.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, be born there at least.
Yeah. So let me see. My man Jairo wants or not. This guy, he says, who's next, Jim? Did you ever spar Leo Santa Cruz?
Of course, yeah. That was I've actually helped him out when he fought who did he fight? Eric Morel. He fought Eric Morel. I helped him when he fought Abner Mares.
Man, okay.
Yeah. So I helped him with both of those camps, and that's crazy. That's crazy that he mentioned it. Who's next boxing gym?
That's always I mean, I know he's older now, and he's not like officially retired because he hasn't fought for like 2 years, so he kind of is retired. But is that what about has that a fight that's ever been a possibility? Maybe you and Leo Santa Cruz, because I feel like that would have been a great
that was something I wanted, and I still do want. If we could make it happen, I think it'd be a great fight. It'd be a good fight out there in LA, where there's a lot of where I have a lot of fans. He's got a lot of fans as well, and I think it'd make for a fun, exciting matchup.
I think so too. Let me see. Oh yeah, I wanted to ask. This is probably one of my last questions for you, Angelo. Your dad, man. I'm a big fan of your dad. I think he's a great trainer. I don't think the boxing world really knows how great of a boxing mind your dad is, because your dad's not one of these dudes. I mean, I feel honored that he did the interview with me, but I'm saying he's not one of these guys that gets in the front of the camera, right? So like, paint the picture for people that don't know about how great of a trainer your dad is. How would you describe him as a trainer, and what do you think makes your dad a really good coach?
I just think my dad, he's a mastermind. Like he knows how to figure out a fighter. And he analyzes everything. He's really detail oriented, and he knows boxing. That's for sure. He's not like you said, he's not loud or he's not with the camera. He doesn't like all that hoorah, right?
Yeah.
So he's just really reserved to himself, but don't get it twisted. Like my dad really knows his boxing.
He does, man. There's this. Now you can confirm that. I don't know if this is true because I wasn't there, but I'm gonna run it by you. I heard that there was an incident. There was a time a long time ago when you guys, back in the day when you guys were in LA at the Wild Card gym, you guys used to train a lot with like the Benavidez camp, like the Jose and David. And this is back when like Jose was like a big deal in boxing, you know, when he was top amateur coming into the pros. And nobody knew who David was, just a fat kid. And your dad told Jose Sr. that, hey, like, David's gonna be the one, not Jose. David is the better brother.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? And he's like, yeah, watch. This is years ago. This is before he was ever champion or anything like that. Did that happen?
I think so. Yeah, I think so. I wasn't there, but my dad recalls it, and you know, I don't think my dad would lie about that.
Yeah.
And but look, he was right about it. You know, he was right about it, and it happened.
Yeah, he's been right about a lot of things. He's great trainer, man. But look, Angelo, I mean, let's want to stay on. Is there anything you want to let people know about your fight coming up with Plania? Because I don't want to hold you up if you got other things.
Yeah,
to do.
no. I just want to let everyone know just to tune in. January 31st. That's gonna be next Wednesday. Whatever time zone you're in, do not forget to tune into that fight. It's gonna be a great fight on the main event. And no, thank you for having me, BT.
No, thank you for coming on, man. You know you're always welcome. I love having you. I love talking to you just in general, even when it's not an interview. So
yeah. I mean, look, we're just burning an hour right there.
Just man. You came in. I think I was like 13 minutes, an hour. You know, It didn't even feel like an hour. And sometimes, you know, I watch some of your other interviews. I'm like, man, I can tell you sometimes we have that comfortability, that familiarity.
Right. And you ask me, and you ask me if I love boxing.
Yeah, you know, I know you love boxing. I'm sure.
Yeah,
I'm sure. Like one of these days, when you don't have a fight coming up, we may have to just do like a whole Angelo Leo special. We just talk about the history of Mexican boxing or like something like that.
Oh yeah. We could do that. I'm down for that.
We could do that. But all right, Angelo. Thank you, man.
All right, no, thank you.
I appreciate you, bro. Thank you.
Of course, you have a good one.
You too. So there you have it, man. You know, Angelo Leo. Make sure y'all tune in January 31st, next Wednesday on Pro Box. It's gonna be a hell of a fight. You know, him and Mike Plania. I really think, like, I'm gonna keep saying it. I feel like everyone needs to really start paying attention to Angelo because, you know, he's already been champion and the world still doesn't know quite how good he is, but I know how good he is and I know how good he's becoming. And I think he'll be one to watch in the featherweight division. So looking really, really forward to it. I can't, like, January 31st can't get here soon enough. So yeah, I'm looking real forward to it. But we're gonna bring Pops back in because we still do got a whole live to do. We got a whole live to do. You know, talk about PBC on Amazon. You know, shout out to everyone. It's your boy BT, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Pops, I still see Angelo. Oh, hold on. What's good, man? Okay, he's got. He's got. All right, now we got Pops here, right? We got Pops here, and we got a whole lot to do. So let's run through it. You know. First of all, Pop, what did you think about the Angelo interview?
I think it was great. I think this is a guy that was a champion that's going back to get him to go back to start his road back up to the top, and he's doing it the right way. He's going to one of the best one of the best promotional companies out there. Even though don't know it's Pro Box TV. You got a lot of talented people running that app. So what more can I say about him? I want him to get up there and get them belts.
Absolutely. Shout out to my man Kaio. He said this is a great live. Yeah, man. Listen, I told y'all listen, we're doing the whole 90 day. I'm doing the 98 days of boxing challenge, which is I'm going live. I started 6 days ago. I'm going live every day on this channel for 90 days in a row. So I think when we get to 90 days, it'll be April 19th. So, you know, it's a long time between now and April 19th, you know. But let's get right back into it, man. Because before Angelo hopped in and we did a great interview, Kyle wants to know, is Angelo signed PBC? He is not signed with PBC anymore. He's actually signed with Pro Box TV. He had his first fight with Pro Box TV back in on November 1st. He fought Nicholas Polanco, a tough 130 pounder, and he stopped him. He became the first guy to stop him, and he has a second fight on Pro Box TV, January 31st, next Wednesday. Right here on YouTube. You can watch right here on YouTube. It's free. All you gotta do is just go to Pro Box TV's YouTube channel on Wednesday night for the Wednesday night fight series, and it'll be pretty easy to watch. So no, he's not with PBC. That's what it is, to answer your question. But let's get right back into it, man. Let's get right into it. We're talking about Thurman and Tszyu, and I was saying that I think Keith Thurman is a sacrificial lamb for Tim Tszyu on the road to Terrence Crawford, because the reality is this: Keith Thurman's seen better days. We know what he used to be. But the thing is, the Crawford fight's realistic because Team Crawford themselves, shout out to, Bernie the boxer, Bernard Davis, former fighter. He's made it very known himself that, look, Terrence Crawford and the Team Crawford really wants Tim Tszyu. They feel like, unlike Boots, that basically Tim Tszyu has more to offer. He's been looking better in his fights. He's beat better competition. He has a whole country behind him.
Yep.
He has a belt at a weight class Terrence has never been champion at.
Yep.
So therefore, there's more value there. There's more chance to create and write his own history in the sport.
Of course.
So I really just do think like Keith Thurman, it's a fight he really can't win. Just honestly, like, yeah, he can box. Yeah, we know he's smart, but this is going to be the fight that makes Keith Thurman a permanent commentator of the sport. I think so. Not just a everyday filler.
Yeah.
I think Tim Tszyu winds up stopping Keith one time Thurman, probably like in, I don't know, but then inside 8 to 9 rounds, and then after that, I'm thinking third or fourth quarter of this year we get Crawford versus Tszyu.
So Jamel's out the picture.
I mean, he's not really in any picture.
No,
he's not. I mean, he has the belt still, but
so he made the money. He's out.
Yeah, and nobody wants Steve Crawford fight Charlo because he pretty much,
because of what happened.
Yeah, because he didn't try against Canelo, so Tszyu is the man of the division. People look at Tszyu as the man of the division, even though Charlo still technically has the belts, most of the belts.
Okay.
Pops, before we move on, because there's a lot more to run through.
Yeah.
What do you think about Crawford versus Tszyu? And chat, what do you guys think about Crawford versus Tszyu? Because that's really what this is. This is, I want you guys to think about this fight as a nice commercial for Crawford versus Tszyu, because that's what it is.
I think it's an intriguing fight. You got Crawford, what you said about his skills and everything, but then you got Tszyu, who comes in there, and he's a hard fighter, hungry fighter that's gonna put the pressure on you when he has to, and he's gonna go for the kill. So you have two different styles that actually good fighters that are both hungry to show the people what they want. And I think this is where Tszyu wants to go ahead and more or less changing the guy with Crawford. Crawford's won the 147, becomes 154. Yeah, he might stay there, but I think this would be a true test. And what better way to start the 154 for both of them? I mean for Crawford to fight Tszyu.
Absolutely.
I mean, he's been chasing all the other fights, Canelo, this other stuff, whatever they've been saying. Look, but at the end of the day, he really wants to fight the top of the top. And right now, timing is everything. Tszyu, to me, is the guy that you need to go through.
The Tim Tszyu fight is really the only fight for Terrence Crawford where I feel like, if he makes that fight, then I don't care about Boots. Like, that's the only one where I can say, you know what, it's okay if you don't fight Boots if he's fighting Tim Tszyu. But anything else is foolishness. Guy Kyle says that he thinks that Crawford versus Tim Tszyu is pay-per-view worthy, and I think it is.
Yeah,
I think it is 100%. And you got Hyro. He says it's a random ass fight, but PBC gives you fights I never really thought about. And he said Tim is being fed leftover PBC fighters so they can get the payday. Well, yeah. Look, we're now transitioning because Thurman was part of the original era of PBC, right? His time has unfortunately come and went. Yeah. They're gonna use him to build up the next era of PBC, which is this new era on Amazon Prime. Now, interestingly enough, let me see. I gotta find that
article.
Yeah, I got it right here. Okay, I got it right here. So look, we'll go back to screen share because I wanted to share this with you guys. Now, shout out to Rick Glazer. I know people got their mixed feelings about Rick Glazer, but he had some interesting things about the business side of this whole Tszyu Thurman thing. Okay. Here's what Rick Glazer said. He stated the following, and I quote, "I've read comments that Tszyu Thurman will do big pay-per-view numbers on Amazon in Australia. Here's the problem with that thinking. PBC and Amazon hold no rights to Tim Tszyu in Australia. Those TV and streaming rights in Australia are owned by Fox and are shown on Fox Main Event, which is Fox pay-per-views platform in that part of the world. A little business side of boxing that most don't know. The good part is that now you do know. Please retweet and educate others." So you know what?
He's got a good point.
Let me do that for Rick.
He's basically doing that. He's basically saying people don't realize the business side of it. He's giving you a little.
Wait, so my thing is this. So now that Rick is bringing up this interesting caveat,
point.
If Tim Tszyu can't do if they can't do pay-per-view in Australia on Amazon for Tim Tszyu versus Crawford,
they're gonna have to bring it here.
No. I'm saying it's as far as distribution.
Right. But I'm saying
not the venue.
Right.
The distribution.
Right. But what I'm trying to explain to you is from Al Haymon's point of view, if he realizes that like Rick Glazer said, if he goes to Australia, they don't have the rights. They're Fox stuff, not fucking
Amazon.
Well,
what I'm saying is,
no,
you're not getting what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
If Amazon doesn't have the pay-per-view rights in Australia, then that means that PBC can't benefit from Tszyu's fan base in Australia.
Exactly.
That's what I'm trying to say.
Right. That's what I'm going back to what I just told you. Therefore, PBC got to bring that fight or try to convince the fight to be here in the U.S. where they will control it, not Fox.
Exactly. Okay.
You
So
what I'm saying?
we're on the same page.
Yeah.
We're just expressing it differently.
Right.
We're on the same page.
Right.
So, you know,
You're talking to your dad. It's a little bit.
Yeah, man. So look, there's a lot on this card.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot to talk about. One last thing about Keith Thurman, and then we're gonna switch gears and we're gonna get into some Rolly talk because we do got to get into Rolly.
Oh man.
Now, I like this tweet, my man. Shout out to Civi Boxing. He says when Keith Thurman retires, he should go into WWE. The way he keeps his name relevant despite only having one fight since 2020 is amazing. People like to see him fight the likes of Crawford, Spence, Boots, and Tszyu, although he's only fought once in the last 4 years.
That's crazy.
Impressive.
Yeah.
That's him because look, he's got the gift of gab. He's got that $1 million mouthpiece. And look, we don't see him often, but listen, when we do see him, he does interviews. Man,
and you always,
you remember a Keith Thurman interview?
Yeah, you always say that with Keith Thurman, you always he'd be a good commentator because the way
the best. I think it'll be. I think
after this, better than Andrew Ward commentating.
The best. Like I think the best. Like, I think once Keith Thurman gets stopped by Tszyu, God willing, you know he's satisfied with his career and go into commentating because I think he's gonna be like the best commentator, like as far as fighters in the sport, you know. So that's what it is. Now, Hyro is giving us the perfect. Well, actually, let's get to one more comment about Tszyu. It's either Canelo or Zuffa Crawford. It's big paychecks from now, and Boots hasn't proven or isn't a draw anywhere yet.
Good point.
Boots is proven. Boots is the best welterweight in the division.
But he's saying draw wise.
He couldn't prove himself because Crawford and Spence are too busy holding up the whole division. Right. But I don't want to make this a Boots Crawford thing.
But thank you.
Hyro is giving us the perfect segue, right? So we're gonna talk about, you know, a fight that's making a lot of noise. You know, Rolly Romero versus Isaac Cruz. That's the co-main event. You know, this is actually a fight that I was thinking about back in 2020. Now, look, Hyro is giving us the perfect segue. He said everyone was begging for a PBC announcement, and here it is. Rolly's fighting the Mexican Mike Tyson. Now, interesting stuff. Before I get into more Rolly, Isaac Cruz stuff, I actually interviewed Rolly myself in 2021, and when I interviewed him, he was getting Isaac Cruz was getting ready to fight Gervonta Davis. And when he was getting ready to fight Gervonta Davis, I asked Rolly about Isaac Cruz's chances against Gervonta Davis, and here's what Rolly said about Isaac Cruz. Hold you up too much longer. I know you want to go to the strip club. But Rolly, I'm gonna ask you this. So, what do you think about the Tank versus Isaac Cruz matchup?
Tank's gonna knock him out 1 round.
1 round? What do you see that makes you think that?
Isaac Cruz is tailor-made for fucking uppercut.
Yeah. Okay. Any message to the boxing world before we end? So there you have it. He said Pitbull Cruz is tailor-made for uppercuts. Well, now, Rolly, here's your chance. You get to prove if he's tailor-made for uppercuts. You got any thoughts about what he said?
No, I would just say one thing. He ain't no damn Mike Tyson.
You don't think so?
No, not nobody. He's not that impressive.
So, Pops, when people call Isaac Cruz the Mexican Mike Tyson, I want you to really, from your heart, tell them from the heart, how do you feel about that? How does that make you feel as a boxing fan?
That's some bullshit, if you ask me, because the bottom line is, but what the fuck has Isaac Cruz done? Don't even put Mike Tyson's name in there. The motherfucker don't knock out nobody, knock out everybody cold like Tyson. Doesn't go in there or anything. He came to America, got a big opportunity to be what he's got. Thank you for Tank. But other than that, I mean, he sells with the Mexicans and whoever else want to follow him. No disrespect. Love him. But the reality is, take that fucking name out of your mouth. He's not no Mike Tyson. That's what I gotta say about that. And I'm right, and I don't care who says it. I heard some of the channels already saying that they think that Cruz can knock this guy out.
Rolly.
I'm riding with fucking Rolly.
There you have it. Pops. He's spirited.
Fuck Isaac Cruz.
And Hyro says, look, it took Cruz 6 knockdowns to stop Gamboa.
Yeah, that was a broken horse. What 2 legs gone?
Yeah, he was shot to pieces.
No disrespect to Gamboa.
We love Gamboa, but you know, he definitely had seen some better days.
Mike Tyson.
You know. But look, man, there's so much surrounding this fight when it comes to Rolly and Isaac Cruz. As far as me, what I think about the fight.
You think that guy was like a jackass now for all that shit?
You know what? That's actually the better segue, right? Because Rolly and Isaac Cruz, just to get my little thoughts on the actual fight. I think it'll be a good fight. I think, you know, Rolly has a lot to prove based on his performance or lack thereof against Barroso. He's champion technically, but he's not looked at as such. So I think in this fight, he really needs to establish to the world that he is a champion. And I think with Cruz being shorter than Rolly, it's gonna present some stylistic, just some interesting things stylistically, because Cruz likes to fight in the high guard and come forward. Rolly is very unconventional, but he's physically strong. And he
you
can maul
already know
you.
what he's gonna do, right?
Who?
You already know he told you his gameplay. What he's gonna do?
He's tailing for uppercuts.
As soon as he comes up there, whomp, whomp. And that's it. Good night, Mike Tyson. Wannabe. That's what's gonna happen to him.
Are we in the Rolly era?
Yeah, we're Rolly. I'm out with Rolly, man. Rolly wants to read the books. I'm telling you.
He's reading books.
Reading books. He's a genius. I'm telling you, Rolly's the one. He's gonna sell that fight because Cruz don't even talk like that.
Harold wants to know what's crazy is if Cruz 5'4", how the hell is he 140?
I don't know, man. Eating all that good food from his country.
Yeah, he says Cruz is a fake Mexican for ducking Shakur. He ducked everyone. He said Shakur, he's running. He's boring.
You don't know what. This guy.
Enrique says that Rolly Romero will be donating his belt to Cruz. It'll be night. Well, what do you think?
We're gonna have to see, Enrique. I like but I really. I just don't like the hype on Cruz. Honestly, I don't fucking like the hype.
Well, look,
they're making him sound like he's this big guy, just like with Ryan Garcia. None of them had a fucking belt. None of them shit. So fuck both.
Last thing about Cruz before we get into the Ryan Garcia talk. Ever since Cruz fought Tank, it's like he had a good performance against Tank, right? But he almost got treated like he won against Tank because ever since that fight, he shot the piece of Gamboa. He fought Eduardo Ramirez, who was a natural 130 pounder, can't even punch in his own weight class. They moved up to 35. He's been taking very, very careful matchups because they knew that, I always thought he was going to fight Tank, but now he's fighting Rolly. So this is still a big fight for him.
The thing is, okay, I'm happy for Cruz. I'm just a matter of fact that, like, we don't need to get his demands and whatever he wants because he hasn't done a fucking thing. He fought Tank once or twice or whatever the fuck he did. He fought a broke horse that was already dead before he got shot. So to me, I don't want to hear about that. Yeah, he sells because of Mexicans and this and that. But what does he have a belt? That's my question. Has he had a legitimate belt? It's the same thing with Ryan Garcia. But Ryan Garcia is a different story. He's got this, he got that. But Cruz has no fucking way, and neither does Ryan because they really have no legit belt. So
we ain't even got to Ryan yet.
So I'm just telling you straight up.
You fired the hell up,
Pops. Hear all this shit about people that don't have no belts. And they just feel what's this thing about? They feel entitlement. Entitlement. The fuck you entitled? You came to America, you got an opportunity.
All right. See, I got him going. But shout out to Kaio. He says, I'm new here and I'm really messing with y'all channel. Yeah, man, look. Shout out to you, Kyle. Just on some background on the channel. And for anybody who's new here, look, this is the home of boxing on YouTube, man. True School Sports, the untouchable True School Sports Empire. Yeah. I've been here for a little bit of time, so you're late to the party, but the better late than never, Got a lot of interviews, man. Go check them out. I mean, you saw one of them live with Angelo Leo. Interview Riddick Bowe, interview Holyfield, interview a lot of guys, man. So definitely go dig through the archives, go watch the content. There's a lot of content, a lot of good stuff. You're in the right place. Thank you for being here. Hyro says, I want to see Cruz versus Subriel Matias, Mexico versus Puerto Rico. What you think?
I mean,
next question.
Yeah, on to the next. They don't even explain that one. Yeah, he's not even worthy to fight Matias.
Damn. Okay, well, look. It's about to get real hectic in here right now.
Yeah.
Because really, Ryan Garcia or Rolly versus Cruz is a good fight.
Yeah.
But the bigger story in all this is actually what didn't happen, which was supposed to be Ryan Garcia versus Rolly. So Ryan Garcia exposed.
Yeah, let me ask
again.
Did
ducking Rolly.
Was De La Hoya and Garcia full of shit when they were talking about this fight? Because I was going to Instagram, they were saying that
Oscar never said anything about this fight with Rolly.
At all? Never?
No.
It was just
This is Ryan.
Oh, just Ryan.
Just Ryan. Just Ryan.
Okay.
We'll get patience.
Patient.
All right. Be patient. All right. Look, go on the screenshot. Right.
Yeah.
Just to get into it. So look, there was a lot of back and forth. So Rolly, first thing he said on Twitter today was Ryan always thought it was Garcia Romero when in reality it was Romero Garcia.
Right.
And he's actually quoting Ryan because after Ryan ran with Floyd, there was an interview where Ryan said Haney thought it was Haney Garcia. But it's really Garcia Haney, and that's why he messed up. So he's quoting that, like he's being petty. He's being petty, right? So there's that. And then he also told Ryan Garcia to go find a tequila bottle and some Xanax in April. So there you go. So Rolly letting you know. If you guys don't know, look, Ryan Garcia after he got made to look like a complete fool because let me see, what's the other tweet? Where's the tweet of him? Right over.
Somebody said,
yeah, look. So right here. So this is the original tweet. I'll read it for you. The original tweet that Ryan has since deleted before any of this PPC on Amazon stuff came out. He said, Ryan Garcia said, April 20th, live on the Zone Boxing, pay-per-view tickets and location soon. It's time to enter battle once again. I understand that there has been a lot of confusion, but this fight is happening. I'm happy to announce this. Everyone is going to post this soon. Don't worry. I love you guys. Comment on what you think. All right. So then he got made to look like a complete fool.
Mm-hmm.
So, it is what it is. Ryan Garcia continues to do his own.
Yeah.
He hurts himself. He hurts himself more than anything.
Yeah.
But this is Ryan Garcia after the fact. Okay. After he got made look a fool. He said, "Look, I was informed that the deal was finalizing and it would be announced in the coming days. Obviously, that was a lie. My patience has been tested the last 2 weeks. I'm trying my best to be as honest and real as I can to you guys. I'll be looking forward to announcing my next fight. I'm not going to say anything until it's actually signed and delivered. I still look forward to putting on big pay-per-view for the Zone Boxing. Have a blessed day." So cool. I actually not that he was going to respond to me, but I left a little 2 cents. I told Ryan quite simply, you wouldn't be in this position if you just followed the original plan, which was to fight Devin Haney. You keep listening to the wrong people and hurting yourself. Stop going for instant gratification and go for the glory, and you'll be fine.
Amen.
That's just simple as that. Stop chasing clout. Just go for the damn titles, and the clout will follow.
Yep.
And it's as simple as that. Now look. Also, and this is actually more of an underrated part about the whole situation with Ryan. So he don't got an opponent now, so he needs an opponent. And shout out to Broadway Joel. He actually posted this. Go subscribe to him. Ryan Garcia was called out by the boss man, Kenneth Sims Jr. Because Kenneth Sims Jr. is the number 2 contender. I think Barroso is the interim champion. Ryan Garcia and Kenneth Sims are the 2 highest contenders.
Wow. And
so to that, Kenneth Sims said, when the new rankings drop in the next week or two, we'll both be the 2 highest rated in the WBA. So let's fight Ryan Garcia. The winner can get a title shot.
Wow.
So what do you think? When I say Kenneth Sims Jr. versus Ryan Garcia, what do you think about that fight?
I'll tell you like this. Kenneth Sims,
boss man, Kenneth, and
he's been waiting for a long time to get a fight. He's a real good fighter. Why not? Will
Ryan take the fight?
Or what? I mean, because that's the question of the day. Is he gonna just stop talking and just do this talking and just go ahead and take the fight?
Yeah.
That's actually a good fight because I'm gonna tell you right now, Sims been waiting for a long time to get that opportunity. And I almost feel that whether it's Ryan or whoever else next, Ross or whoever, he make some noise. His time is coming.
Yeah, and look,
Kenneth, not hating Ryan
Kenneth
either.
Sims, I think, Kenneth Sims, for in my humble opinion, obviously, I would say Tank is the best fighter Ryan's fought. But outside of Tank, the best fighter on Ryan's resume would be a guy like Kenneth Sims Jr. if you were to fight him because Kenneth Sims hasn't won a world title, but this guy's a legitimate fighter. When Elvis Rodriguez was a big name and prospect-wise in boxing, he popped that balloon real quick to the point where Top Rank cut Elvis right after that fight.
Oh yeah.
So Kenneth Sims.
He was going to beat him?
Yeah.
Oh shit!
That's why I put him on the map. Was that fight?
No more guitar playing.
No more of this. No more of that.
Yeah.
So Kenneth Sims, a good skilled boxer, well-rounded, knows his way around that boxing ring. That's the kind of test that Ryan Garcia.
Do you feel he's like underrated though? Like you don't hear much about him. Like you should.
Well,
he's talented.
He's kind of in a stuff. So we just had Angelo was on live an hour with me because he knows me. We're cool, right? It's not like that all the time. Not like that most people.
Right. Oh wow.
Okay.
Yeah, he's staying comfortable.
Okay. But Angelo and Kenneth Sims are very similar in the sense that they're both very talented and they don't really do a lot of talking. They're reserved guys. They're calm. They're not rah-rah. You're not gonna see Kenneth Sims. I mean, he's respectfully calling out Ryan, but you're not gonna see Kenneth Sims or like an Angelo Leo calling a guy out and saying, you don't want to fight me. You don't want you're not gonna see none of that from them. So that sometimes, I mean, I think in this day and age with social media, sometimes like the old saying, out of sight, out of mind. Sometimes because he's so reserved, and because he's so quiet, he gets lost in the fold.
Well, quiet guys, you gotta listen when they talk. Like even in your live interview, I was sitting here, even though I didn't hear the whole thing. I guess he was talking about Pierce, and he said, "I'll take his shit too."
No, but did you actually get what he said?
No, I didn't hear.
He said, so Angelo in that instance, he said Elijah Pierce took I forgot who he said.
Yeah,
he said, he took this guy's. Oh no. He said, I took Tremaine because they have common opponents.
Right.
And he made the point that, Pierce was saying that, Angelo's fought my leftovers, but Pierce fought Williams after Angelo already fought him.
Right. So what he talking about?
So what's he talking about?
Yeah.
And so he was saying that I took Tremaine Williams' and I have no problem taking Elijah Pierce's 2 because Elijah Pierce has 2 losses.
But that's what I'm saying. He's a quiet guy, but when they talk, they're gonna make a point. And Sims the same way.
Very, very direct. So look, as far as Sims, I would love to see Sims get the fight. I think that's actually the kind of opponent that Ryan needs to be fighting is Kenneth Sims Jr. Someone who knows way around the ring, who's high level,
experience,
who has the chance on his best night or to beat a guy like Ryan Garcia. So look, Ryan, look, all these big names that you guys want to see Ryan fight, they ain't happening. So get them out your head.
Yeah,
they're not happening.
Do you think Ryan has that like he's too good to fight fighters like
he might. Are
you serious?
I mean, Floyd just got in his ear. He might say, oh
yeah. Somebody was saying I was thinking Instagram that Floyd set him up for the Hokie with all this crazy to put on the shit in his head. That's crazy. Yeah. You don't trust nobody.
Floyd was like, yeah, man, yeah. Ryan's a hell of a fighter. You know, this guy's a star. Because Ryan keeps listening to the wrong people. The motherfuckers he has. The actually employed Bernard Hopkins and Oscar to guide your career. You don't want to listen to them, but the lawyer and then Floyd, who we don't employ, you want to listen to them. So that's his cross to bear. That's his doing.
We'll pray for
him. We pray for him. Hopefully his career get on track. But I'd like to see him and Kenneth Sims Jr.
You think his ego won't allow him to fight?
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But look, Oscar De La Hoya, he came out following all this stuff, and he said, "Look," he said, and I quote, "We have April 20th. That's our date. I'm going to announce something really, really big when it gets signed. You never know. Maybe he moves up to 147. Who knows?" So look, I'm going to tell you like this. The minute I read this quote and I saw it in my head, there's no way Ryan Garcia is moving up to 147 unless he's fighting Adrian Broner. That's what I think.
Yeah.
And I'm going to tell you guys why I think that. Because Adrian Broner just got ranked in the WBC like
you were telling me about
a month ago. He gets quietly popped at 15. A couple nights ago, I go by to check the rankings, and he gets mad. He's at 12.
That's that magic. That's
that magic, right?
Cincinnati shit.
So look, Ryan Garcia. One thing we know about Ryan Garcia, if past history tells us anything, Ryan Garcia loves clout, he loves fame, and he loves attention, and he loves validation, right? He will get a lot of attention
with Broner
because Broner generates attention anywhere he goes. Just even when he's not fighting, it's in public. You know, I saw him at the convention. You know, I'm not gonna.
You were right there with
I'm not gonna tell no stories on here because you know that those are private personal stories. But Adrian Broner is like the way he is on camera. He's what you see, what you get. That's him. That's him. AB is himself. He's real, right? So I know it sounds crazy, but we've seen crazy things in boxing. I actually think if he's gonna go to 147, like Oscar's hinting at, he's gonna fight Adrian Broner. That's my opinion. What do you think?
But when you were talking to him that the one time, didn't he say he had a best friend that he would fight or something? I forget who you guys question. You question about some fighter they get along real good. You say
Adrian Bernardo.
Yeah. But you see that happening. You see Broner.
I mean, look. The thing is, so Keith Thurman's not fighting Tim Tszyu for the title because the WBO can't justify because he's not in the rankings,
right?
And he hasn't fought in 2 years, right? But with Broner, you can justify it because he's fought within the last year, and he's ranked.
Right.
So even if I think it's bullshit, and you think it's bullshit, he's ranked. They could justify a Ryan Garcia, Adrian Broner fight.
How could somebody just like out of nowhere just rank somebody quietly? Nobody don't pay attention. Thank God we got somebody.
Thank God, you know, you got nerds like myself who
he said he will fight you.
He said he'd fight me. So hey,
yeah.
Right now, boxing's a free for all. You don't know what the hell's gonna happen. Yeah. You know. So
you think that? Do you think he'll brutally knock out Broner if they fought? Hypothetically,
I think he would knock out Broner if they fought.
I mean,
I can't believe I'm saying this. I think if they fought, it'd be a competitive fight.
Yeah.
No, I'm serious. No. Yeah. I'm gonna tell you why I think it'd be a competitive fight. Ryan Garcia's defense ain't all that great.
Right.
That's number one. We know that.
Yeah.
He doesn't listen to his coach at all. He's got his heart. He's a little hard. They don't listen to his coaches, so that's already not good. Mm-hmm. And I think that whatever Broner physically has left to give to this sport, that's the kind of event because he's kind of like Ryan.
He's gonna get up for that fight.
He'll be up for that fight.
Yeah. And he'll sell the fight. They both sell the fight.
And if I would do numbers, so but look, if Oscar's Hinton got to move to 147 as he is, the only opponent that pops into my head that I think they would actually try to make the fight because it'd be a huge event would be him and Broner. So yeah,
that
47.
Yeah,
because he ain't gonna go up there like he's not gonna fight Boots.
Yeah, he's not gonna.
That's not happening. Yeah. Like Golden Boy's not stupid. They're not gonna do that. You know. So
okay.
You know.
So food for thought.
By the way, I want to ask you because me and Angelo alluded to it in the interview briefly. It was a joke, but have you seen the interview where Bill Haney was going around he was going around Las Vegas after a fight. He was going up to the Mexican fans, and he said he was asking the Mexican fans, "Is Ryan La Raza?" And they said, "No, he's not La Raza."
No, I didn't see that.
So it's a big thing going on now.
That's why Johnny.
Yeah. So it's a big thing now because
no.
Bill Haney's saying Ryan Garcia, he's not La Raza. He's like, those aren't his people. These are my people because we turned pro in Mexico. These are my people.
Okay,
But no, there's this tweet here.
Yeah.
This guy said, LMAO, Bill Haney told you Ryan Garcia wasn't La Raza, and he was proven right. You let PBC and your shit lawyer play you like a cheap hoe, and now you look stupid. And
holy shit!
Look, those aren't my words. Those aren't my words. This is at the only Satch on Twitter. Okay.
Holy crap!
All right. Those are his words.
Yeah.
He said it best. He said it best.
Yeah.
He got played because he doesn't want to listen to the people he's supposed to listen to, and I can't say that enough.
Also, just don't get rid of him. Like, dude, you've been a problem the whole time.
So I mean, money will do a lot of things for somebody. You know, money solves a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But let me see. I'm sure we got some comments. I want to acknowledge the comments. My man Mexican Boxing says, "This is a trash pay-per-view card." He says, "Keith is gonna get killed by Tim and Lar versus Rafa. Nobody knows them." What are you talking about? Everybody knows Lar because he fought Canelo. The rest are fine, but two others are bad.
Well, I would just say that the card's decent. But it's not it's not pay-per-view worthy. No way. Now, if Tim Tszyu was fighting a big, I know Thurman's a name, but a better level set fighter that's been actively fighting, which I don't know who that might be at 154 at this time.
Thurman?
Yeah, besides Thurman, that's what I'm saying. The only reason they put him up there, and I'll say, like you said, is because I think it's more not
cash out fight,
and it sells because of his name and this and that. So. But I'm agreeing with with the guy saying what he's saying. It's not worth. I mean, it's not worthy. It's not pay worthy. No. Even Pro Box came out and said it's not pay worthy.
Yeah. My man Kyle wants to know. The question is, when is the fake Mexican people? When the fake Mexican people wins the WBA, will he vacate or actually stay at 140 and duck the monsters there as well?
Ooh, good answer.
You asking the right question. Look, if he wins the WBA title, he'll be right in line to fight Ismael Barroso. He ain't gonna fight no damn Ismael Barroso.
He's gonna really get clobbered. If he thinks Mexican hit, this guy's coming to swing up.
That dude hit you. Yo, Barroso hit you with the pain of communism at every punch.
The crazy part, when you look at Barroso, you look at him like a poor, weak. Like you look at him, you didn't know he could pop like that. But we seen that from
Rolly.
No, not Rolly. Tszyu the other night, skinny, sat there. I was surprised where he got that power to knock this big guy
technique.
Yeah, technique. So, I mean. I like to see Barroso just clock this guy, just clock him once. And I shouldn't hate the guy because he's got his opportunity. I just don't. I think he commands too much. Like he's done more for boxing. Like he's a champion. You cannot run your mouth if you haven't had a belt like that. You're still the B side. You're not even the A side because you have nothing, a true belt to carry you on to where you got to get carried to.
Okay. So there you have it. You know, Pop's giving you all the right pertinent answers, right? So, look, good fight with Rolly and whatnot. Ryan Garcia, he's a clown, right? He's made a look like a clown.
Yeah.
But look, I want to switch gears to another fight on the card because I'm running through them individually, and I was so pleased to hear about this fight getting finally happened because there's been so much, like bullshit and foolishness with this fight. This fight should have been happening probably a year and a half, 2 years ago, honestly. But Arizona Lara, like he does all the time, he takes these long ass layoffs, and he was trying to make this bullshit catchweight fight with Danny Garcia, and they weren't even going to fight the middleweight limit. It was going to be at 155. They had to get a special request from the WBA. Zarafa had actually agreed to take step-aside money, but then they didn't even fight. So then they held Zarafa up even more. So then Zarafa, at the recent WBA convention, which I was at, he pretty much put his foot down. He said, "Look, man, I did it. I did all the stuff. I did all the right things. I never stepped on nobody's toes. F all that. Y'all gonna give me my title shot. I'm waiting too long."
Yeah, and I'll be honest with you.
I like this fight.
I like Lara. He calls himself the American Dream. You come here, you live the American Dream. It's time for you to retire. Fight this fight. In my opinion, get on your horse.
He's one of the reasons. Lara is one of the reasons why the middleweight division is at a standstill. He's not active, and he's been this way for a while. This isn't a new thing with him because I remember when PBC first started, they was overpaying guys for mismatches. Okay, and I went to some of those mismatches in person because they were down here in Miami, and they were easy to get to. When he fought Yan Zevic, Yuri Foreman, he really didn't fight top competition for a long time. He got used to that. He was like, in a sense, what's funny? He was in a sense like the original Isaac Cruz, because when he fought Canelo, There are a lot of people that thought that he beat Canelo.
Okay, yeah.
Which, you know, you guys know I'm no Canelo fanboy, but you know, I used to think he beat Canelo, but I watched that fight back a couple of times, and I actually thought Canelo beat Lara.
Okay.
Fairly and squarely. But he's been living off of the performance of almost beating Canelo, and so yeah, I like this fight. I think Zerafa's going to Zerafa because I did see him at the convention.
Yeah, go ahead.
Zerafa, he's a guy that has been. He's mixed it. He obviously, you know, as far as on the world level, he's a fringe contender on the world level. He's won everything there is to win in Australia. But he's fought some guys. He's got good experience in his career. He fought Kell Brook when he was young. He fought Peter Quinn when he was young. He's never been able to win that big fight. I think this could be a fight where, you know, Zerafa has matured. He's gotten better.
Yeah, he's
and I'm favoring Lara. I think Lara is the more skilled fighter of the two. But like inactivity and father time are going to be his undoing. And I think this would be a hard fight for him.
Another blame that I give for boxers like this to stay around and come every 6 months, I blame Mr. El Haymon himself. Thank you, El Haymon, for everything. Thank you for the card. But honestly, you put your fighters on the shelf too long, and they get used to accustomed to that, and accustomed to that. And it's part of the problem with boxing is because Al Haymon doing the same shit.
Hyro says,
come on.
What about Charlo? Come on, he's worse. No, he's not. Absolutely not. Jamal Charlo has only been like this for 2 years. Anthony Lara has been like this since he fought Canelo. He's been like this since he fought Canelo. He has literally, oh my God, man. Like, he's fought good fighters. I'm not gonna say he had the Jarrett Hurd fight, which was great. He had Terrell Goucher, who was a solid fighter. But what I'm saying is, once the PBC hedge fund money came in, I can make a legitimate argument that there is no fighter in the entire PBC roster except maybe like a Leo Santa Cruz or Danny Garcia who has gotten as complacent and as lazy as Arizona Lara.
Yeah, and I'll say like this too. I'm gonna blame. I'm gonna go back and blame. If you look at Al Haymon's history, because we have to be caught through here, he puts his fighters positions to have fights, but then he puts them on the shelf for a long time.
Yeah,
and then yes, the fighters love him for that because they get lazy, they become complacent, like a Lara, like a Thurman. I mean, yeah, they haven't fought in how long, and now you want to bring them up here and make them sound like they pay you worthy. You're only going to fool those casuals that don't know shit about boxing or don't know where, but the ones that stu, they're going to say, what the fuck is this? And that's what I'm saying. So, Hyro, I do like what Al Haymon's doing. He put the fight on and everything, but this bullshit with once a year shit and all this shit needs to fucking stop.
All right. Put on the curse. I'm trying.
I'm sorry.
You curse a little. You can curse, but that not like every 2 words. But
yeah.
But as far as the fight though, get back to Zerafa, right? I think, you know, Zerafa, believe it or not, the underrated storyline in all this is actually from the Zerafa side, because if Zerafa is actually able to get the job done and become world champion at 160, I'm telling y'all right now, it sets the stage for a mega fight on PBC. And you know what the mega fight is?
But then you said, 160 sucks anyways?
Who?
160 is not a good weight.
If Lara loses the title, it gets a little better because now the division can move.
Okay.
It'll move a little bit.
Make the things move.
But I'm telling you, if he somehow wins, PBC already has the next mega fight lined up.
Oh.
Michael Zara versus Tszyu. Australia versus Australia.
They're going to make money off that fight.
Australia versus Australia.
I
don't know if you know the history of that fight. Do you know the history of that fight? They had a fight signed.
He turned the fight down.
No, it was signed. He was signed. It was locked in. There was a fight.
And they call him villain now.
And he wound up like pulling out of it or whatever. So,
but the question is now, we just said in the beginning of the live with the promotional thing with Fox being over here and now the Amazon Prime. The fight, for me, in my opinion, you probably might beg to argue with that. You said the fight would make more money here in the U.S. No, if Tim Tszyu and this guy fight in Australia, they're gonna make big money over there.
Yeah.
But it's not gonna happen.
But Zerafa has to get the job done against Lara. So I think, look, Zerafa stylistically, like his legs have improved over the years. He's gotten some good experience, but he just needs to finally win the big one. And sometimes there's some not everyone's gonna be undefeated, you know. But sometimes it takes guys 3 or 4 losses.
A, B, C, or D. What do you classify him? No disrespect.
On his best night,
I'm talking about Zerafa. Yeah.
On his best night, he's a solid B.
B, okay,
solid B.
So he will give Tszyu a little bit of something.
Or Tszyu,
Lara.
Yeah, well, look, Lara isn't the Lara of old. Lara's not gonna be moving around like he used to. You know, if you watch his last couple of fights against like Spike O'Sullivan, he's been sitting in the pocket and sitting dudes down. And I think that's actually gonna be to a guy like Zerafa's benefit, and that's why I'm not riding him off in this fight. Okay. So, you know, we'll see how it goes. He's fought a lot of people. I mean, I remember he fought Peter Quillen. Peter Quillen put him on a stretcher
quickly,
like because he was fighting on one. Yeah, he shouldn't have been at that way at that time. He was too inexperienced. That was a cherry pick. at that time because Quinlan was one of the top middleweights at that time. And then he fought Kell Brook when Kell Brook was, at 54. He fought some guys. He just hasn't been able to win the big fights. We'll see how it goes. I'm looking forward to it. I like Zerafa. I met him, but I'm making Laura the favorite in that fight.
I just think Laura needs to get out to it because she's not doing enough for me to get happy.
But the real news and but the real reason why this fight is so good and why I'm so happy about this fight is because it actually moves the division forward, and we kind of mentioned that a little bit here in passing. And I wanted to talk about that. Just kind of like look at the middleweight picture here for a second. Going up to middleweight.
People don't know who Ian Green is, though.
They're gonna know. If they watch True School, they're gonna know. It don't matter. It don't matter. Listen,
they don't know who he is.
We're here to promote. Who is he? You don't gotta know who he is. He's the number 7 contender.
Yeah.
You don't gotta know who he is. I'll tell you this. Can I tell you who does know who he is?
Yeah.
Michael Zava knows who he is. You want to know how I know Michael Zava knows who Ian Green is? Because he watched me go to the podium at the damn thing. Oh, yeah. So he knows who Ian Green is.
Yeah, he walked up.
But nonetheless, look, I like this fight because regardless of who the winner is, it's going to move the division forward. All right. You got Elijah Garcia there at 2.
Why did you put Elijah Garcia in the list? That's unreal.
I don't know.
Right?
Anyway, you got Elijah Garcia at 2. Okay. Elijah Garcia had a banner year last year. He's one of the top young prospects for PBC. Yeah. And he's made his intentions very known. He don't want to wait. He want that title now.
Right.
I think Elijah Garcia versus the winner of this fight is a very makeable fight. And then also you got Emma Williams, who's the number 3 contender, and Connor Coyle, who's they're fighting on the Pete Dobson then undercard.
Oh crap! So
next week. So one of them is gonna fall below the rankings. And then you see number 7. That's why I'm even talking about this. Number 7.
Yeah, he's coming.
Ian Green, guys. Look, a lot of people don't know who Ian Green is because he's with Don King Promotions, and Don King doesn't really do the best as far as like getting his name out there, right? But I've seen him fight, and I'm telling y'all, he just fought Vaughn Alexander, who we know gave Johnny Beck a tough fight. He's getting a lot of guys tough fights. He's taking the O's of prospects many times. Ian Green stopped him with a body shot, 1-punch body shot. So I'm telling y'all, that's one of the names. Middleweight's not really good right now, but that's one of the names in the division that I think is great. So if there's any positive about this fight, the fight could be good, the fight could be bad. Who knows how it's going to play out? But the best part about this fight happening is that the division at 160 will actually have some movement going forward.
That's true. And a new name probably most likely at the top.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. But look, man, the fight that I'm probably most excited for, and I know Hyro's excited about this fight, and we're going to talk about it.
Yeah.
Sebastian Fundora returns from, because let's have it right, Hyro. I know you're out there.
Yeah.
Brian Mendoza knocked this dude into the shadow realm. This is the first time we heard from Fundora since.
How long has it been? Like a year?
That was last April. Yeah. So by the time they fight, he'll have been out the ring for 11 months. Jeez. Almost a year.
Wow.
Prototypical PBC protocol. But look, Fundora versus Sergey Bohachuk, amazing fight. This to me is the fight of the card. Not Rolly versus Cruz, not Zerafa versus Lara.
That one fight.
This is the fight that's gonna get me excited about this card.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Fundora coming back, and what do you see in Bohachuk? What do you see in Bohachuk that you did? Oh, no, put it this way: if Fundora loses this fight, where does he go from there? Do you have it? Oh, do you favor Bohachuk over Fundora?
I think Sebastian Fundora is gonna knock the fuck out in this fight again.
Is this guy a hot puncher?
Again, yeah. That's his main thing. Is that he's a hard puncher.
Harder than Mendoza?
No, but he's hard enough. He punches hard enough to where. Oh, guys, are we lagging?
Just push back. Push my thing up.
No, we're lagging. It's chopping. It's like chopping. It's going in and out. Let me see. Let me put it on my phone. I don't like how that looks because the signal is low there. But no, Bohachuk, he's long. He's rangy. He's got very thick bone density. Like he's not one of these guys you can have leaky defense with. And they're saying we are choppy.
Okay,
like that's what's going on. So let me hold on. I'm gonna refresh, guys. I'll be right back. Let me refresh this. All right, so hopefully we're good. Let me know, chat, in the comments if the signal and the picture looks better because I don't when I'm talking to you guys, I want you to really hear what I'm saying. I don't know. It's chopping in and out.
Is it?
It's chopping right. It's chopping right in and out. I'm looking at it right now. But let me know in the chat. Are we good? because I'm trying to really talk this Sebastian Fundora, Sergey Bohachuk. Yeah, we're good. Okay, we're good. All right. So look, Sebastian Fundora versus Sergey Bohachuk to me is the standout fight on the card. If we look at basically like these guys' careers, their careers actually are very similar in a sense because Sebastian Fundora and Bohachuk, Sebastian Fundora and Bohachuk have both been knocked out. They've both been knocked out. Just to be honest, they've both been knocked out. Like, look, Fundora, we know he was in a good run of form. A lot of people looking at him as like the next guy in the division, next champion. Until he fought that hard punch motherfucker Albuquerque, New Mexico. The other one, Brian Mendoza, right? Yeah. And so this is a big fight for him. But we know that Bohachuk, he was one of the most hyped up prospects in the entire sport of boxing. I mean, he was knocking everything out in sight.
Has he been active though?
He's been one of the most active. Oh, wow. He was knocking out everything in sight until one fateful Thursday night in Puerto Rico on Ring City, USA. He was on the wrong end of what was the best fight ever put on in the now defunct Ring City, USA series. Right. He fought Brandon Adams. He was winning that fight too, and Brandon Adams knocked him out in the 8th round. One of the best fights of 2021. Wow. But since that fight, he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. He's had 5 fights, 5 knockouts.
You know how we talk about activity here.
5 fights and 5 knockouts. He's been one of the most active 54-pounders in the world. So when you look at this fight style-wise,
done nothing.
Huh?
Mandor hasn't been active at all.
No, because that's what Brian Mendoza will do to you. But look, when you look at Bohachuk, and Fundora in the style matchup, we know Fundora, although he's tall, he's not a guy that fights tall. He's a guy that routinely gives up his size. Yeah. And so my thing is, I think he'll have chances to have success in this fight. Like Bohachuk's not known for his inside fighting. Bohachuk's gonna have to keep him on the outside and line up for that right hand. But my thing is, if Fundora hasn't cleaned up his defense or try to work on that in camp,
if we get pieced up again,
it's gonna be bad. I'm telling you. And the thing is, guys with Fundora, if you guys just look at the course of box history, guys with the Fundora style, these high guard pressure fighters with very leaky defense. Normally, when those guys get knocked the hell out, when they get knocked the hell out, their styles don't age well. They don't normally come back great. Right. They're here for a good time, not a long time. Right. And it ends quickly and swiftly for them. Wow. So my thing is,
but it sounds like you're.
I'm favoring Sergey Bohachuk. Yes, I think Sergey Bohachuk is putting him out. You think so? Yes, he's getting put the fuck out. Yes.
You don't think?
Yes, 100%. I like Fundora.
If you were to compare him and Mendoza, what does he do better than Mendoza that you think he's gonna do that?
What does he do better than Mendoza?
He's gonna go to that body and break this guy down the way.
He's not more athletic than Mendoza. He's not more athletic than Mendoza. Okay. I can tell you that.
Right.
But
the power behind that.
Ukrainian, good fundamentals. Yeah. Big straight right hand. And I just think Fundora's defense. Listen, Fundora is what he is.
Okay.
He's not gonna fight any differently.
Do you think it's end the Fundora then? Not the end, but I'm saying as far as him ever again climbing up the charts.
I don't think he's winning a world title. Yeah, I don't think he's winning a world title.
Seriously?
Yeah, seriously.
After that Mendoza thing, you don't. Okay.
I think Brian. I think the main thing people are gonna say when they watch it by Sergey Bohachuk is gonna be Brian Mendoza really ruined this guy.
Wow. And isn't Haro a big Fundora fan?
Yes, he is. That's why he hates Brian Mendoza.
Are you serious?
He hates Brian Mendoza.
You don't give no props to him?
None. Zero. Always takes away.
So in this fight, what you got?
He's going with Fundora.
Oh my lord!
But it's a good fight. It's a real good fight.
But is this Bohachuk's toughest opponent though?
It's toughest
level wise
since his loss. Yeah. It's yeah. So we'll see how it goes. But, wow. That's the card. It's a good card.
I'm happy. I like the card. I just don't think that, like I said, some of these I don't think it's pay view worthy. I think if anything goes but worse, Haymon needs to. I ain't gonna say Haymon just needs to get with Turkey, My Excellency Turkey in Saudi, and negotiate and go over there and make big money fights, because nobody's gonna. Remember that, was it this year when they did a lot of pay-per-views, PBC, and some of them really they stunk. You know what I mean? And people actually buying the pay-per-views, but they didn't have like great fights. I'm not saying that they didn't have good fights out some pay-per-view, but not all of them were pay-per-view. You know?
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes. Rocky Austin or Kaio says Gabriela Fundora is better. She's way better. She's way better than Sebastian. Mm-hmm. Way better. And I think if Seniesa Estrada winds up beating Yokosa Valle, I think she wants to retire anyway, but I think Gabrielle Fundora is going to make her retire quicker because that's not. You don't want those problems in your life.
You say she's better than her brother.
Way better. It's not even close.
When you told me how she fought, I said, "Are you serious?"
Way better.
I'm like, how you comparing women's boxing to men's boxing?
There's no comparison.
But you got the skills.
There's no comparison. She's better at everything when it comes to boxing. Everything. Pressure fighting, boxing, everything. Than
her brother.
Everything.
Wow.
Everything.
That's a lot.
Rocky Osborne says, BT, do a video on the potential eliminator at between Henry LeBron and Charlie Suarez. Then it go, okay.
Oh man, yeah, Henry.
Let me put it in my notes, man.
Yeah.
Shout out to Henry LeBron.
Thank you.
You know, I seen Henry LeBron when he beat
yeah
Charles Foster.
Puerto Rico. Isn't he trained by what's his name? Javier?
Is he trained by Javier?
I thought he was trained by Javier.
I don't know who he's trained by.
By Sweatbox.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah.
BT's trying to win brownie points at Gabrielle. Nah, absolutely not. No. I don't need Gabrielle. I don't need brownie points with Gabrielle or any female. Yeah. I can do that on my own. But she's a better. I'm telling you, she's a more talented fighter. If you've watched her fight, you know I'm telling the truth. Anybody who's watched her fight knows I'm telling the truth.
He told me this a long time ago. He told me he said, "Hey, Pops," and I thought he was joking with me, but he was telling me he's serious. He said, his sister's better than him
by a mile.
I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah." I said, "Damn, BT."
You know, look, I really want to see if Sinisa. I do want to see Sinisa fight Gabriela Fundora, but it's a fight I really question that she could win.
Who?
Sinisa. I don't know if she beat Gabriela Fundora.
You don't think so?
I question it.
Come on, man.
I question it. I'm gonna pick her. I'm gonna pick Sinisa because I said a long time ago I'm picking Sinisa straight against the field, but that's the fight right there. Like Yokovai, I got no doubt she beat Yokovai.
Right.
But Gabriela Fundora,
she's the it factor. Wow.
That's something you might need.
Man, you talking high. I mean, you give it. I mean, you see Sinisa's style.
Go watch Gabriela Fundora.
No.
When you get a chance, go watch her.
Holy crap!
Just picture. Okay, you see how tough Sebastian Fundora is?
Yeah.
Imagine him if he could actually box from the outside.
Like her. Yeah. He'd be devastating.
Okay, that's how she actually is.
Yeah.
She actually fights like that. That's how she actually fights.
Wow.
Yeah. Jesus M wants to know. He says BT Tito Mercado was fighting on. By the way, guys, we're at that part of the live now.
Yeah.
So
whatever. Yeah.
Ask whatever you want. I'm getting off in 5 minutes.
Yeah.
We'll make it even 2 hours. But he says BT Tito Mercado was fighting on Marv Nation, but dropped down on opposition significantly. Why is that? Well, I didn't know he was fighting on Marv Nation, but if he dropped down on opposition, it's because he's fighting on Marv Nation. It's not a big promotion. They can't afford no good big opponents for him.
He's fighting too.
But he's a hell of a fighter.
I see on Instagram, Glenn's gonna be fighting too.
Yeah, Brandon Glenn. Yeah. He's back in action soon, taking on I think a Russian fighter or something like that.
Yeah.
Shout out to Carl Hansen. He says BT and Pops salute. Happy Australia Day to the Aussies. Yes.
Happy Australia Day.
I didn't know it was Australia Day.
All the Australians
Happy
out there.
Australia Day to all the Aussies in the world.
Wow.
You know, can't wait to go visit your country at some point. But like I guess look, guys, on that note, I'm gonna start wrapping it up. But you got any final thoughts, Pops? Because this
I think Al Haymon came out, opened up the year pretty good. I think the card he brought out here, there we have some things that we don't agree on or whatever. But I mean, shout out to him. But some of these fighters he's got on the shelf, they got to be thrown in the trash and get new fighters up there. And he's got to become more active. Well, in my opinion, and I'll be honest, I think you should go see my Excellency Turkey in Saudi Arabia and negotiate with him and go make that money for yourself, Al Haymon, and for all your fighters.
Yeah, so we'll see how it goes.
Thank you all for your support, and guess what? We'll be here tomorrow again.
We'll be here tomorrow
you guys
again.
Talk about family for real.
And hopefully, listen. Hopefully, we're here tomorrow. This piece of shit internet. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with the internet. We chopping in, we chopping out. I don't like it.
I don't like it either. But what you want me to do?
I don't know. We can't do nothing about that. But look, guys.
Could be the win upside
before we get out of here, just a couple programming reminders. Tomorrow is day number 7 in our 90 days of boxing series. So
tomorrow you're probably gonna focus on
tomorrow.
Ryder, aren't you?
No. Yes, but I actually have an interview tomorrow. I won't tell you guys who it is, but we got an interview tomorrow.
Okay.
It'll be a good interview too. It's an interview with a guy who I think is going to be a future superstar of this sport. Woo!
That's good.
He's not pro yet, but he's going to be a future superstar of this sport.
So it's windy.
Hopefully, it'll be good. But sometimes it's best to restart the computer before. Yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
I'll keep that in mind. I'll keep that in mind.
What do you say?
Before next time. But look.
Okay, thank you for the advice.
Live fight reaction on Saturday, Munguia Ryder. And then look, Wednesday we had Angelo Leo here earlier, so go watch it back.
That was great. I like that.
It was a great interview. I actually think out of all the interviews me and never did, I think it was the best one.
He's getting comfortable
I
talking
think
more.
I think it was the best interview.
If he didn't have time to go, he would have kept talking.
Yeah. So yeah, Angelo's fighting Wednesday on Pro Box against Mike Plania. He'll be headlining on that card. Make sure you guys tune into his fight because he's up. He's going to be a factor in the featherweight division, and I'll be at that fight. So that's going to start a string of me going to a lot of fights. You know, Angelo's fight on the 31st, Pete Dobson versus Conor Benn February 3rd, TFE Jermaine Ortiz February 8th, and then what is it? The Jojo Diaz card out there in California. I'm going to that card too, February 15th, to go support Eric Tudor and Sasha Tudor from South Florida. So.
You're going to be busy.
Busy stuff. So make sure y'all just
tune in to us and
tune in, keep supporting.
Tell your mama, tell your cousin, tell your uncle, tell them about True School Sports. We're here to stay.
We're going to be at 72,000 subscribers. So I'm excited about that.
Thank you guys.
We appreciate the support. Make sure you guys take care. You know, be blessed. Make sure you guys do what you got to do in life to make sure that you're putting yourself and your family in the best position moving forward. And yeah. On that note, like I say in every single one of these videos, y'all can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just giving Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys.